Sliders on Nicholson Drive at East Boyd. Slide on through for some delicious, freshly made sliders, fries, and a milkshake.
Did you see my video? We were having a sliders eating contest the other day.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was me, T-Bob, and Justin Vincent teamed up with Dudley DeBosier, and we had a little contest, 2 minutes, to see how many sliders you could eat.
You were judging or you were competing?
No, we were competing.
Okay.
I got 5 sliders down in 2 minutes. T-Bob beat me with 6, and JV finished last with 4. I didn't eat until the next night.
T-Bob would have been the betting favorite in that. Were you there when we did the crawfish eating contest?
I was.
Yeah.
I just gave up after I saw some of y'all get after it.
Oh, Jimmy smoked the field.
Yeah.
Well, T-Bob was a betting favorite that day too, but it's category specific. Yeah. You got to he grew up in Georgia, so Jimmy grew up in New Orleans. And when it comes to peeling crawfish, I mean, come on, let's be real here. So in the course of the last since the last time we met, you were able to secure the speaking services of one Matt Flynn.
I found a way.
Yeah.
I found a way. So I'm excited about today's show. We've got Peter Burns of the SEC Network going to join us. Richard Dixon, because it's Friday. He's always with us on Fridays. And I somehow found a way. I basically had to become almost like a private investigator to find out where he's at. But I found him. He's not going to be able to come in, but he's going to hop on the phone with us because you can't hide money. He's at a second home. Okay, well, let's just make sure that he's in a good cell and all that. So this is the Matt Flynn that played with Graham Harrell in Green Bay for, I think it was 2 or 3 years. Yep.
The Graham Harrell that played quarterback for Mike Leach.
Yep.
So he knows this offense. This is the Matt Flynn that played for the Green Bay Packers that knows Aaron Rodgers really well, that are going to play the Saints in the Superdome on Sunday. Well, I think he's got a lot to say.
And he's also the Matt Flynn who waited his turn, sat behind the number 1 overall pick at LSU, and then once he got his opportunity, went out there and won a championship.
Would 2 segments be
too much? There's a guy named Miles Brennan that's in the same situation as he was.
Man, we got stuff to talk about with Matt Flynn. So a lot to get to. We'll do first class, second class, no class. We'll do our picks today. We will try to do better with our picks than we did last week. A little bit of a rough go there, but we'll try to rebound and get back on the right track. And, of course, we've got SEC football tomorrow. Our pregame coverage on Eagle starts at 9:30 in the morning. So, Ed Ogeron, one more time, post-practice, talking about, what's going on with the Tigers as they finally get ready to take the field.
I did feel a lot of energy within the coaching staff this week. I felt a different pep in the step in the team. They're ready to play. But these guys have been practicing for 2 months. They're going to be excited. We've had some scrimmages in Tiger Stadium by ourselves. We've had a lot of energy. 25,000 fans for us is going to be a boost right now because we haven't seen them in so long. So I think we're just going to take advantage of the situation. Oh, yeah, same stuff. Getting ready. Tomorrow's Focus Friday. We're going to beat the drum. We're going to have walkthroughs. We're going to Lod Cook. We're doing all the same stuff. We'll walk down the Tiger Walk, have our clap session before, put our suits on. Whoever's on the Tiger Walk, just tell them to cheer loud. I think these young men are going to be awfully excited. They're excited to play something else. I think that's where you're going to get most of the energy from.
So that was news, right? That they were going to do Tiger Walk because
we heard that they weren't going
the original
to do it,
plan was that they weren't going to do Tiger Walk. So now getting on campus, to get on campus, you got to have a ticket and you got to have a parking. Well, you got to have a parking pass to park. You got to have a ticket to get a parking pass. So if you walk on the campus, I guess there's nothing to do. But they want you to stay home if you don't have a ticket. But if you do have a ticket and you are parked, they're going to walk down the hill. So if you're a player, Jacob, I mean, short of the fact that there's not going to be the volume of people around there, is everything else the same? So how much different does that make you feel?
I thought he actually made a good point. We've, been practicing so long. Nobody's been there to cheer us on. We haven't even had the numbers in the fall scrimmages that we typically have because sometimes you have, 1,000, 2,000 people, whatever, family, friends, people close to the program at those scrimmages, and they haven't had the opportunity to even have that. They didn't have a spring football game. So it's been a long time since they've been in front of LSU fans. So I'm sure they are excited. And I was talking with someone before I walked in, like 25,000 people is going to make some noise. Is it going to be Death Valley? No. But it is going to make some noise. The players will be excited. I'm intrigued to see how they spread those fans out. I know we had Robert Munson on earlier in the week, and they were still, like, up to that minute, they were trying to figure out exactly where they were going to place everybody, because that makes a big difference as well.
We want to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
We want to see what it looks like. And the band will be there, but it won't be the whole band. It'll be about half the band. They'll be distanced a little bit. We don't have to get into a horn spittle again, but you get the idea. They're going to be spaced out a little bit. So it'll be game day light from a crowd standpoint, but from a football standpoint, this is game day heavy. You're starting with a Southeastern Conference game. You talked earlier in the week about the challenges with that. You guys did that in 2007. There's no work out the kinks game. That team on the other side has SEC personnel. They may not have as much SEC personnel as LSU does, but they've got a professional quarterback, a quarterback that I think is going to play in the NFL. Maybe not as a starter, but he's going to be in the NFL. We know they've got an NFL running back over there in Kylan Hill. And, we'll talk to Mike Detillier tomorrow on the pregame. He'll go through all of the draft eligibles for state. But there are enough that, hey, listen, better be on your game. You can't. This is not, God bless, Texas San Antonio, who's playing tonight, by the way. You could get away with a lot of mistakes against the Texas San Antonio, a lot of sloppiness, a lot of missed tackles, a lot of pre-snap penalties. Not that you want to, but you could. This is not that.
It's not. There's two ways this can go, right? You can come out and you can know that, and you can, from the opening kickoff, go out there and show we have far superior talent than you have. Or you can allow it to creep up on you. They make a couple of plays. Now you're chasing your tail. There's only a couple of ways this thing can go, truly. And when you start to hear some people, from afar say, watch this game. It's a sneaky game. The Pirate coming into LSU, and they've lost so much. I can't tell you the amount of interviews I've done this week across the country. Man, how are y'all going to field a football team? That's the feel that they asked me. Are you going to have enough guys to fill a football team? I was doing an interview in Gainesville, and I almost slammed the phone against the ground hoping the guy would feel it. Yes, they're going to field a damn football team in Baton Rouge. Look, you are LSU. You had 14 people drafted. Yeah, that's going to be tough to replace, but guess what? They recruit in Baton Rouge as well. Guess what? Guys have been waiting for their turn. They're going to show up. I don't know if you know that, Hanny, but at 2:30, they're going to line up for kickoff tomorrow.
I did one in Fayetteville, Arkansas this morning at 6:30. And the first question that I was asked was, what's up with Coach O saying most of the team has had COVID? I couldn't resist.
Oh, got that one.
I couldn't resist. I said, well, what they did was they found somebody that had COVID, and they put them in a room, and then they marched the football team through there and had that guy cough on all of them individually until they had COVID, and then they made sure.
Yeah.
Really? No. No.
Well, I mean,
come on.
It's Arkansas.
I understand. The Pirate. Okay, so that's the other storyline here, and we think that Mike Leach is a fascinating character, but he's also a very good football coach. Unique style and everything. I know you want to talk about him one more time.
Being on the West Coast, those guys, we grew up down here in pads and playing football. Those guys are on 7-on-7. I mean, it's a 7-on-7 league. So they're 4 or 5 years old. They're throwing the football. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are getting trained by a lot of trainers out there. There's weather good all year round. So, they fancy themselves with throwing the ball. The job that Mike Leach did at Washington State is incredible. But, he's done a great job wherever he's at. He's a great football coach, a great football mind, and he's got a lot of talent at Mississippi State. He's going to do a great job. First of all, the style of defense that we're playing is an attack defense. We're coming. We're attacking every day, every down. We're playing tight coverage. And then again, the speed in our defense. I think that the strength of our defense is the speed of our linebackers, and obviously having a guy like Derek Stinley and Jacoby Stevens back there with Todd Harris, Cordell Flott. I think those guys are very fast. I do believe we're going to put a rush on people. This guy's going to be tough because of the splits. You're going to get the ball out there quick. But I do believe that Bo has done a great job in turnover ratio, and those guys are going to lead the charge.
Jacob, I think the biggest difference – the story nationally has been how much LSU lost and how much different would they be. When they come out tomorrow, I think the offensive schematics will be very much the same. The execution of it, we'll see. But the schematics of it will be very much the same. Lots of similarities with Linehan having thrown a few things in. But defensively, it will be very different. I think that the way that Bo Pelini will attack Washington State, Mississippi State, and the former Washington State coach Mike Leach will be vastly different than the way that Dave Aranda would have. Not that one is better or worse, but just very much different.
Yeah, we talked about it. I think it was on Monday. If Dave Aranda was the defense coordinator and you're playing Mississippi State, you're trying to literally chase every ghost you possibly could, and you're worried about coverage way more than you are anything else, and you're trying to come up with the best coverage and make sure you got guys in every single spot. Now, I think Bo Pelini says, my guys are better than your guys. We're going to leave them one-on-one, and we're going to come after you. We're going to be aggressive. That's just my initial thought, because Bo's going to be way more aggressive. We've heard that. We know that. In fact, we've seen it. We've seen it before. And I think if I'm game planning, I do the same, because you don't have a receiver that I feel like can get open on Derek Stingley. You don't have a receiver that I feel can get open on Cordell Flott or Elias Ricks. That's the feeling I have going into the game. You've got some receivers that aren't fit for this offense, right? In this offense, you like a certain type of receiver, and I think Mississippi State does not have that right now. Not to say they won't once he gets his recruits in there, but right now I don't see that. And so I'm playing coverage. I'm bringing an extra guy. Your wide splits, good luck, because I'm going to test them from the first play.
Our audio producer today is Cade Wazan. Our video producer is Paul O'Neill. Playboy Marty picked the Lakers and South Alabama last night, so he is nowhere to be found. We are brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
GoTro's Outdoor Power and their friends over at SCAG, giving you the opportunity to own the premier unit on the market when it comes to zero-turn mowers. And whether it's residential or commercial, the SCAG simply cannot be beat. And right now, 60 months interest-free financing is available on all SCAG units. They're simply the brave program for all first responders, retired and active military, police, and fire. 15% discount off of recommended retail price, and with the 60-month warranty, you'll have 5 years of worry-free mowing. It's all at GoTro's Outdoor Power.
Hey, you're heading down from North Louisiana. Maybe you're coming up from South Louisiana, getting ready for the LSU game. You can hear us, right? Well, GoTro's can hear you. That free delivery is always available to you in the state of Louisiana. If you want to see exactly what they have, GoTro'sOutdoorPower.com is the website. You can check out all the SCAG power equipment right there on the site. That's GoTro's. We make it easy.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Hey, it's Kate Voisin inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. One more week till the regular season kicks off. We'll be talking officiating with Assistant Executive Director Lee Sanders. Tonight at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Only person maybe more excited for the start of SEC football than us is Peter Burns from the SEC Network. Peter, good afternoon. How are you?
I was shirtless earlier today. I have to tell you, like me and Chris Moore, my co-host, that Hester knows, always doesn't wear a shirt for our morning show on Sirius XM, and I joined him. I was like, dude, tomorrow's like Christmas Day for us, so a little too excited to say the least. I need to tamper my expectations a little bit.
Hey, Peter. So we did the State of the Union college football teleconference last night. We had some great names on there, and I lost a bet. I said, I guarantee everyone on here, Chris Doring will not have his shirt on because it's dark in Gainesville, and he doesn't wear a shirt after dark, and he disappointed me. He had a button-up on, of all things.
Yeah, because I think he knew some of the suits, some
That's
of the big
true.
wigs, the bosses were going to be on that call yesterday, so that's why he didn't do it. But, man, I can't tell you. Like, it's weird. Even though I knew college football was coming up, guys, I don't know if I had that feeling that it was quite here. Like, I saw it, right, like the little appetizers that we saw of little ACC, cute football, and a couple of Big 12 games here and there. But it finally hit me within the last 48 hours, like, holy hell, like, we're here. We've made it. We got to this point, at least the starting line, and now hopefully we have all 7 games and hopefully have a damn fine season ahead of us.
We always wondered what it would be like if college football had a preseason like the NFL. Now we know. Because that's
exactly right.
essentially what this is.
It's spot on, because I'm like, all right, I'm casually watching. All right, I casually take something away from that, but I'm like, listen, it hasn't felt right. Like, I even talked to Brad Nessler on our show this morning, and he was saying, him and Sean McDonough both were saying, we kind of watch these games to see how it's working, but, it's kind of almost been like a feeling out momentum aspect of it, and it's not until this weekend when LSU plays and when Alabama plays and Georgia plays and Florida that you feel like, all right, hell, college football's finally arrived.
So this ends up being like a play in 4 acts. The first act is done. The second act is the SEC. The third act is the Big Ten in October. And now we know the fourth act is the Pac-12 in November. We haven't even started yet. We already know how this is going to finish. So you tell me what effect this tiered system, if you will, is going to have once we get to a postseason.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question that I don't even think college football playoff has an idea about, right? I mean, Bill Hancock is firmly, when asked several times about, hey, what's the minimum of games you have to play, right? Because Pac-12 decided to play, they're going to play seven games, but they're going to end on December the 18th. Big Ten's going to end on December the 19th. SEC is going to end on December the 19th as well, because the selection committee is on the 20th. So, how in the world the selection committee takes a look at what a 7-0 Oregon team is versus a 8-2 LSU team or 10-0. I mean, I don't know how the hell you get to the bottom of that. And I mean, I'm always been, guys, a proponent of only a 4-game season. Like, I don't think everybody should get a participatory ribbon for playing. Like, suck it up. If you want to be good at football, build a good football franchise and program. And yet this is the one year that I'm like, all right, we can expand it this year. I'd be fine with that, just because how in the hell are you going to pick 4 at the end of the year when no one's playing really any kind of similar schedule?
Peter, I was listening to you this morning, and I believe it was Stitch that was on the show, and y'all were talking about contenders that could have some big holes to fill. Obviously, LSU comes into that category. The Georgia Bulldogs come into that category, but obviously you following LSU as closely as you do, how do you feel about the Tigers coming into the season? Because we've talked so much about other things, we haven't really gotten your opinion on how you view the Tigers.
It's funny. I just had lunch with my dad, who you've met before, Jacob.
Yeah.
He's a diehard LSU guy. And I asked him that just because I'm like, sometimes I feel like I'm too close to it. I go, what's successful for you? And he's like, honestly, I'd love for them to win 8 games. And I kind of get that temperature from a lot of people I ask around, considering, Shelvin being out, Chase being out, you lose 743 starters from last year's squad. You think this is what's feasible? And I'm like, and I heard Stinch on my show this morning, Hester, I know you heard it. He goes, I think Mississippi State beats LSU. And when Stinch said that, I'm like, I just don't see it. I don't see how that computes, because guess what? Every single year we talk about Alabama, right? And no matter how many guys they lose, we're just like, well, they're going to be in contention because they're Alabama. Well, why the hell can't that be the same about LSU? Recruiting ranking has been the same, right? You still have a bunch of big parts that came in yet last year, coaching-wise. In fact, LSU probably has less coaching turnover than sometimes Alabama has. And this is why can't LSU go back-to-back this year? Is it going to be tough? Absolutely. But I think the demise of LSU football, as so many people across the country think, is unbelievably ill-advised, to put it that way.
Peter Burns, our guest from the SEC Network. Peter, with the exception of one game tomorrow, all of the Vegas point spreads are better than a touchdown, some of them as much as 31 points. So who, in your opinion, of the underdogs has the best chance to win tomorrow?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'm surprised that Kentucky, if it wasn't for Brands, I think if you put the whole roster of Kentucky and put them in Auburn jerseys, that's the team that would have been favored. I think Kentucky's just a better team this year, guys. I think with Terry Wilson coming back, I loved what Eddie Gran did with their offense last year. Arguably maybe the best offensive line outside of Alabama is what Kentucky has. Secondary was real young last year, but they grew up in a hurry. And Stoops just kind of has that attitude. And it wasn't until, I always kind of liked them against Auburn, but it wasn't until I heard Landon Young, one of their offensive linemen, who I've come to know a little bit over the last couple of years, and I heard him just the kind of ticked off nature in his voice. It was the same ticked off nature in the voice I heard from Mark Stoops 2 years ago when they won 10 games. And for him to say that, they think that they're pretty damn good. And I think Auburn's kind of living on the brand of Auburn football as opposed to what the actual components are this year.
Yeah, Peter, I don't know the identity of Auburn right now. I mean, Gus Malzahn's like every other year, I'm going to call plays. This year I'm going to take it off. You bring in Chad Morris, and a lot of people just assume that it's going to work like it did last year. No, Chad Morris runs a different spread than Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn's offense is unique with the shifts, the movements, the jet sweeps. And Chad Morris comes in, and he's a true spread guy. So is that better for Bo Nix? Is it worse? We don't know. We don't know who's going to run the football. We can speculate on that, but that offensive line isn't getting any better. That was a poor unit a year ago. So I think offensively, they're truly going to struggle out of the gate.
And I think it's the opposite side as well, too, right? I mean, you guys have always heard. I mean, I try to listen when you and all the real talent of college football are talking, and everyone has always told me, Burns, it's the line of scrimmage league. I mean, hell, I must hear that 40 times on every Saturday from Gene Chizik in studio with us. And I'm like, who's got the better offensive and defensive line? In theory, you always think Auburn will just because of what they've had in the years past, but that's not the case this year. Stoops has done a great job of developing that talent, and they're upset that they got a chip on their shoulder. And that reminds me of what Dan Mullen had in Starkville, which made some of those teams such a tough out. And I just think that it's a bad setup for Auburn this weekend, and that's why I'm taking Kentucky to win that game outright.
Peter, out of Mike Leach and Lane Kiffin, who is more poised for early success, meaning on opening day, and who's posed to have the better season?
I think both of them. I lean towards Ole Miss. And the reason why I say that is I just think Ole Miss has playmakers between Jerrion Ely and Stu Connor, and you go back and look at what they can do with Plumlee and last year. Hell, LSU fans sure as hell know what they're capable of, and if Matt Corral gets involved and they can pass the ball pretty decent. I think that they'll have more success out the gate than maybe for the first year or two. I think the roster management for Mike Leach, and we'll see that this week, I think they're going to throw it 40, 50 times, but I don't know if they have the wide receivers to actually do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes 3 or 4 years, probably at least 3, to get the right recruits into that system down the Stark Bowl, especially with Mike Leach passing it. I don't think they have that, because that was plaguing Bulldogs over the last 3 or 4 years, not having really good wide receivers outside of like De'Runnya Wilson a couple years ago. So I like what Leach is going to bring, but I still think it's going to be late into the season that they figure it out, and probably another 2 years until it's where he wants it to be in Starkville.
BB, last one for me. Any worry for CD's Gators? I mean, going on the road to Oxford, I mean, Lane Kiffin, all the weapons that you just mentioned, I agree with you. I think they have offensive weapons already in place. Now, the defense isn't real interested in tackling people. They haven't been for years, but 14-point spread seems like a pretty big number. Any chance Ole Miss scares Florida?
No. I mean, I'd put it at like closer to 20, 21-point spread. I mean, of course, I have been wrong once before, but I think Florida's legit, guys. I think Florida is legit. I think they're hungry. I think that, just the consistency that they've had, and then, we saw Trask kind of just manage the game last year, and he did it extremely well. Well, now he's not asked to just manage this team, taking over for Felipe Franks. He's put in a position to succeed, and they got the kid Justin Shorter, the transfer. I think Ole Miss doesn't play any defense whatsoever, and I can see that being one of the blowouts, much like I see LSU blowing out Mississippi State this weekend. I mean, again, show me a defense that Mississippi State or Ole Miss had last year or two that scared me, and I sure as hell haven't seen it.
Peter, last one from me. We spend all our time talking about the teams at the top of the league. Let me give you one from the teams that are up against it. Does Arkansas or Vanderbilt win a game this year?
I think Arkansas can. Vanderbilt, I think it's a struggle. I mean, they just named, I can't even remember the kid's last name. He's a true freshman. He's only the third true freshman ever start. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord, you're going to start that first game. That's not that going to be good against A&M on the road, even with 20,000 fans. I think Vanderbilt struggles. I think Arkansas can. Kendall Browell's calling the plays. Barry Odom is defensive coordinator. I think there's enough offensive talent if they stay healthy to get a couple, but it ain't going to be a lot. And again, hey, you know what? I'm not going to complain about any football, guys, because a couple of months ago we didn't even know if this weekend would even happen. So I feel like it's a free year for everybody, and I'm just going to probably enjoy it as much as I can and kick back and watch football on my 5-year anniversary tomorrow with my wife. So that's a hell of a way to spend the anniversary, to say the least.
You got married during football season?
It's the smartest thing ever. LSU-Syracuse weekend. I knew LSU was going to absolutely cream them, and I was like, this is perfect. I can watch the LSU game early, get that out of my system. We get married at night, and I can watch a bunch of football at the reception. And I married an Alabama girl, and she was like, all right, well, when is Alabama going to play, North by Northwest, Wichita State? And it was a money move. So don't ever let you tell fall weddings are bad. Like, you just got to pick the right fall weekend to have it.
So the anniversary can operate around foot. That was the big fear, was not necessarily the wedding weekend, but the anniversary weekend. Can we go do that? No. I've got football. That's for the rest of your life, Peter.
Hey, how about this? How about my beautiful wife? We've been married 5 years, and she says I got a sitter for us on Saturday. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, oh my God, I can't complain because it's our 5-year anniversary. And I go, well, all right, well, I'll buy. Like, what are we doing? She goes, babe, it's college football weekend. We're watching football all weekend long. I got a sitter so we can just watch the games. And
oh,
like,
wow.
Nice.
Okay. You win. You win.
Lauren is the GOAT this Saturday.
You win.
No, hey, you between her and Katie, man, we definitely did well, to say the least.
Outkicked it for sure.
Peter, thanks a lot. Enjoy your anniversary and the football weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Later, boys.
Yeah, we'll take a break, be back on the other side. Richard Dixon with us in the next hour, first class, second class, no class as well. Matt Flynn later on in today's show in the 2 o'clock hour. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com. shaping your financial future, and in a better way than what you're doing right now. I'll tell you that with the interest rates the way they are right now, you can get into a new home easier than you ever have been able to before. Your purchasing power is at an all-time high. We know this because home sales here in Baton Rouge are outreaching lengths that we haven't seen in over a decade. It's because of these interest rates. Maybe you don't want to move. Maybe you like your house. Well, would you like to live in it a little bit cheaper? You should look into a refi, because not only are the long-term benefits, which are obvious, the short-term benefits to free up a little bit of cash and to save in a mortgage payment or two are there for you as well. If you want to add on to your current home, a construction loan is available as well from gmfsmortgage.com. You'll meet with a licensed local counselor. They'll give you all of your options, and then you can map out your goals and go from there. They'll take you all the way to the closing. Do what I've done and thousands of others have done and start your financial journey at gmfsmortgage.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it's clearance time, smart customers rush to Richard's Honda because all your favorite Honda models are at fantastic prices. And with our fanatical customer care, it's no wonder people call Richard's Honda the smart choice.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Your Honda needs some TLC, and Richard's Honda is the smart place to get it. With oil changes at just $39. And with so many service bays, you'll be in and out super fast.
It's a Monday edition of Game Time with Jimmy Ott and Ben Mintz. The guys recap all their picks from over the weekend, including LSU, Mississippi State, and Saints Packers. We're live at Evar's Bar and Grill from 6 to 8 p.m. on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
George Kittle ruled out of the game this Sunday for the Niners. I know this because he's on every fantasy team that I have. Hey, we're brought to you by Small Sliders on East Boyd at Nicholson. Just a short little ride past LSU. If you're coming in on game day, boy, it'd be great little slide on through there. Get yourself a little snack. Great freshly made sliders, fries, and milkshakes. Just a stone's throw from LSU.
And a milkshake at this very moment would hit Blaine Besh just right now. Right?
You think he's listening?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Okay.
Or if he's not listening, someone's listening that can let him know.
I didn't know if they let him, have the radio.
We know
on
he's not working on Friday.
I just wanted to know if they had the radio on the golf course.
Touche.
Wherever he is. A good question out of the Bayou Ford huddle. We've been concentrating so much on what film LSU would look at to counter Mississippi State's offensive and defensive philosophies from San Diego State and from Washington State that we haven't really paid much attention to what Mississippi State will study where LSU's defense is concerned. We had a question in the Bayou Ford chat about whether they should look at Youngstown State's defenses or Nebraska's defenses.
You look at Youngstown State because when Bo was at Nebraska, the offenses in college football had not evolved to what they've evolved to right now. You still had, and especially the teams he was playing, you still had pro formations. You still had 2 tight ends. You still had a fullback. You didn't necessarily have week in and week out what you had now in the FCS level. They probably got to the spread offense, Hanny, faster than the FBS level did, right? Because it kind of started in high school. It mostly started in high school, and then it evolved, and then the FCS ranks kind of ran it before the FBS. A little stubborn sometimes in the FBS, and then they made the change. And so if I'm them, I'm looking at the Youngstown State because you're not looking at personnel when you're looking at Bo stuff anyways. You're just looking at scheme. You're looking at scheme and what he wanted to do. So there's no question. And, Bo brought someone from his staff at Youngstown State to be an analyst, so there's going to be some correlation in the defenses.
And you said earlier in the week that it is not difficult to match game films watching one for schematics and watching one for personnel. I would think that would be difficult. You say no. You can visualize Youngstown State scheme with the returning players that LSU has.
Yeah, because you just make a book. You make a book of the returning players and tendencies, and then you kind of match it with what they're doing now, offense or defensively. And you say, well, hey, we know this guy's really good at this, and in this defense, this is where they would put him. And you start to match play it. Like, okay, well, he's going to definitely be here. Like, right now, they look at Bo's defenses, and they say, here's what Jacoby Stevens was last year. Here's what Bo's probably going to do with him. And I don't know how far back you would go, but they probably go far back and see, okay, who's the best safety that Bo's had in the last 5 seasons? Okay, well, here's what Bo did with that talented safety. Here's what he's going to do with Jacoby Stevens. In the opener, more than the regular season, but we always talk about chasing ghost. The opener, every team does it. Now, who does it less than others, that's something to say for, but you're going to do it, and you try to get any film you can have. And I'll be very curious to see next time we have Bo on how much he's used that walkthrough room that they have at the new football operations.
The virtual, yeah.
Absolutely, because that's such a tool to be able to put the offense up there and press play and see them run the route concepts and all the fronts. You think it's wide split compatible?
Well, if it's not, they need to go adjust it because you're supposed to be able to put up there anything that the opposition does. This is Ed Ogeron on what LSU will be in base tomorrow.
We do have a lot of nickel. Obviously,
the
nickel
virtual, yeah.
Absolutely, because that's such a tool.
And that's my computer freaking out again. Ed Ogeron on base defense tomorrow.
We do have a lot of nickel. Obviously, nickel is the base package nowadays in football. We do have some dime, and we're gonna mix those guys up. Cordell Flott, Jay Ward if he's available, Derek Stingley. Those guys are all interchangeable down there. Jabril Cox can play some. We can move a safety down. Todd Harris can do it. So I think we're very multiple, and we have a lot of guys that can play different positions in nickel and dime.
We probably will not see 3 linebackers on the field for anything other than maybe goal line tomorrow, and maybe not even goal line because Mississippi State runs first and goal from the 2. What formation they in?
They're going to be in spread formation, 11 personnel. Probably 4 receivers
in the
shotgun with a single back. Yeah.
Will Costello take a single snap from under center tomorrow? Probably not, right? No. So
did Joe take a single snap under center if he wasn't taking a knee?
There were a few. I'll tell you one I can remember was the opener. They ran that bunch package to the right, and he hit Marshall on it wasn't even a slant. He was almost like coming back parallel to the line of scrimmage and caught it and almost stepped into the end zone. They ran it from like the 3.
Yeah.
But not many. Not many at all. LSU and Mississippi State at 2:30 tomorrow at Tiger Stadium. We'll be on the air at 9:30 tomorrow morning. So you got your routine? You ready? You ready for tomorrow?
No.
You've had 4 months.
But everything is not, I don't want to say last minute, because there's been so many moving parts that everybody's just trying to figure out what it's going to look like. I was actually over at LSU today just trying to get a lay of the land and figuring out exactly where we go for our TV set and where we're going to be for the game and everything going on, just to make sure, because I hate not being in position when everything gets started. So it looks different. I can tell you that. Even campus right now looks different. So after I get into the show tomorrow, we do LSU Game Day Live on CST, and then I get into the stadium, then I'm going to feel like a sense of normalcy.
And then you're going to look around and see a quarter of the fans
with the mask on.
Right. Is the camp, I haven't been over there this week. The footprint of Tiger Stadium as it is expanded with the fences. Is that the biggest change? Is that going to be the most startling thing for people coming into campus?
Yeah. Typically on a Friday, by the way, there's already people at Mike's Habitat and people just walking around, and there was none of that. And that they were setting up kind of the barriers in different parts where you can't go unless you're credentialed or if you've got a ticket and all those type of things. So it was a completely different feel just for me, just from doing it for the last 6-7 seasons. It looks, it's noticeable for sure.
Sure. If you do have questions about any of the game day procedures, there's an expansive list of things at lsusports.net that you can have your questions answered. We are brought to you by Smalls Sliders. That is just about a couple of Buzzy Heidel long tosses away from LSU's campus. Slide on through for delicious, freshly prepared sliders, fries, and milkshake at Sliders, East Boyd at Nicholson. This is Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
I really got to check out Buzzy's arm, by the way. All right. As a former LSU student athlete, I can tell you that your Tigers give 110% each day. They're not only to be committed winning championships, but also committed in the classroom as well. LSU Athletics is one of the very few programs in the nation who has remained self-sufficient in its operations. But this year, as we all know, LSU Athletics is facing unforeseen adversity. Due to the restrictions around COVID-19, the loss of essential revenue to LSU Athletics will be in the tens of millions of dollars. This is a good time to remind ourselves that we as Tigers and our go can never stop. LSU and Tiger Athletic Foundation is urging everyone to donate to the Victory Fund to help keep LSU student athletes going. The Victory Fund will provide financial support for the most crucial areas of need, including scholarships, healthcare, and academic support for the student athlete. Your support is critical to the future of LSU athletics. If you want to learn more information or if you would like to donate to the Victory Fund, please visit victory.lsutaf.org.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When you want the best of Louisiana, you don't go to a superstore. We know what we like, and we like it local. Same goes for banking. As one of Louisiana's largest local banks, we offer homegrown services crafted around you. Gulf Coast Bank, the bank that cares about you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hey, it's Kate Voisin inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. One more week till the regular season kicks off. We'll be talking officiating with Assistant Executive Director Lee Sanders. Tonight at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we are brought to you in part by Supreme Rice, supremerice.com, supporting our Louisiana farmers down in southwest Louisiana, hard hit by Hurricane Laura. But coming back, and with your help, we love the Louisiana farmers. All of the Supreme Rice is grilled and processed, milled, or grown, milled, and processed in Louisiana since the 1930s down in Crowley, Louisiana. Supreme Rice, a perfect complement to any meal, whether it be the long grain, the jasmine, or the brown rice. Have it in your jambalayas and your etouffees, rice and gravy. You're making a big pot of something for this weekend. Use Supreme Rice. You'll thank me for it. It's very easy to get Supreme Rice. It's at all of your Walmarts, all your Costco's, and all your AG food dealers, including Robert's on Highland Road, now stocking the 5-pound bags of jasmine rice. So that's right next to Superior Grill on Highland Road. You can get now the 5-pound bags of jasmine rice from Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes and some unique stuff, go to supremerice.com. I debated on whether to even do this story because we've been doing will they or won't they play stories for, I don't know, ever. But I thought we'd give it just a couple of minutes because the Pac-12 finally decided to get off the dime. They're going to be back for a season that starts in November, and now the Mountain West will play the Pac-12 with a 7-game schedule, the Mountain West with an 8-game schedule that will start in October. Larry Scott, the commissioner of the Pac-12, on when his teams are going to go back on the field.
There's been a lot of good communication and back and forth with public health authorities over the last week on an ongoing basis, over the last months, of course, but over the last week, updates to the guidance. So they're exactly when each school can resume practice still will need to be cleared between each school and their local public health authority.
Seen a lot of following, not as much leading, I think, during this whole thing. Is that fair to say?
For them?
For anybody.
Well, they got zero leadership.
Right.
There's one leader in college football, and it's Commissioner Sankey.
Well, I would say that the Pac-12, does Scott send half of his salary to the Big Ten offices every month?
He shouldn't get a half of a salary this year. You get nothing.
We will do what the Big Ten says, and in short order here.
Whatever Daddy said,
we will follow.
do it.
We will follow along. I had some sympathy for them because of the wildfires and the extra steps that they were going to have to take. But every time I hear Larry Scott, I think to myself, "Oof, yikes!" What this is going to do, and I mean, like I said, I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes on this, and then I'm moving on because I'm in too good a mood today. There's going to be football tomorrow, and we've frankly spent way too much time on this all summer long because we had to. But this is going to make a mess of the postseason. There's no doubt about it. We'll jump off that bridge when we come to it. But Heather Dinich, who covers the CFP for ESPN, does a great job with that, had this to say about what the Pac-12 decision means for the playoff.
There has been no discussion saying that the Pac-12 won't be allowed in it. And look, with 7 games, they could be right in the thick of things because remember, there's no guarantee how many games anyone else is going to get in. No benchmarks have been set for how many games you have to play to get into a semifinal right now. You know, think about it. Oregon can be 7-0 and Alabama could be 6-1. We'll be talking about them both.
I don't know about Alabama being 6-1, but Alabama being 9-1 is damn sure on the table. So, what a 7, and that could be LSU too, or it could be Georgia, could be Florida, any of those teams. The question that I think will be the biggest one, write this in the book, and when we get to December the 20th and the playoff is revealed, at least that's the date right now, the biggest question will be what's the difference between 9-1 and 8-0, or 9-1 and 7-0. And that's what that committee is going to have to decide. Yep. Because I suspect that there will be a team out of the Big Ten that will run the table at 8-0.
There's one.
And I suspect that there will be one team out of the Pac-12 that can run the table at 7-0, maybe Oregon. And I'm as sure as I can be that there'll be at least one SEC team that is 9-1, maybe more than one. And that's where it really gets interesting because if Oklahoma runs the table in the Big 12, bad as it is, they're going to be in position. So if you have let's say that LSU beats Alabama, goes to the SEC championship game and loses, and that the team that wins or the Georgia goes 10-0, goes to the SEC championship game and loses, and there's 2 one-loss teams in the SEC, or maybe 3. There's one that's 10-1. There's one that's 9-1. Maybe there's 2 that's 9-1. Right. Then what do they look like versus an 8-0 team? Because as much as we like to talk about strength of schedule, and as much as we like to talk about power ratings and all that, the loss column has almost always dictated where teams are ranked. Not the win column, the loss column. Got to wonder if that's going to – I think that will be the question when we get to December 20.
It was the biggest question last night, and we're doing this roundtable, and we've got fans from every conference. We've got former players from every conference. It was the biggest question. It was the biggest question if you had this team with this amount of games, they got their game postponed, and this team sits over here, and they didn't have any games postponed. That's a question. What you just mentioned is a question. What if a team does go 8-0, and what if this team is 9-1, and maybe they didn't play as tough a schedule, the 8-0 team, as the 9-1 team? I mean, all those conversations, and the God forbid phrase of eye test. I hate it, and it's going to be said so many times this year, more than any other. The eye test, they passed the eye test. What is the eye test? Like, tell me what the eye test is. That's why I can't stand whenever that's used, and they get up there in front of their microphones and they spout that off. So look at a team like Wisconsin. Let's use Wisconsin. All right, they've got Illinois, Nebraska, Purdue, Michigan, Northwestern, Minnesota, Indiana, and Iowa. Notice I didn't say Penn State. Notice I didn't say Ohio State. Okay? So if they go undefeated in the regular season, and they luck up and they found a way to win their Big Ten championship game, well, they're getting in. Their resume, you got one game right now, one game at Michigan that they probably won't be the favorite in. That resume is going to look, and you're telling me if Georgia went, 9-1, that's the same thing? It's not. It's not the same thing. But in this year, with these schedules and the schedules not really being uniform, that's what you're going to have.
And I don't know what the postseason is going to look like from the playoff standpoint. Peter Burns said, "Hey, you know what? I'd be okay with expanding the playoff this year." I don't even know if that's possible. I do think that it should be, if they want to do it, because if we've proven anything during this, is that you can schedule on short notice if you really, really want to. Last year, there were 10 bowl games played before Christmas and another 15 played between Christmas and New Year's. So that's the next wave of this, which is how does the postseason shake out? And I would imagine that game by game they'll go through and see, hey, do we want to have a game this year? And I would imagine there'll be a lot of them that'll opt out. because teams would have to come in right after their regular season, go through Christmas in a lot of those cases, and I don't know that you can draw. I don't know if you can make it financially work. Don't know that you can push dates back.
Real quick, if you're Wisconsin, go back to that team, and one game gets canceled, and you have no room for error, and they say, you know what, we can't play the Big Ten championship game. We're going to go off our regular season standings, and Wisconsin's undefeated. That's a real those things are a real possibility in this football season.
And we don't even care because we have football. So I told you, one short segment, and that's it. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a RAV4 for $3,000 off MSRP. That's right, $3,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Hour number 2, if you're with us on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. If you are with us on 1130 The Tiger up in Shreveport. If you're watching along on CST or on our YouTube page, 104.5 ESPN, or Hanging with Hester and Hanny. If you've missed any of the things in the past, you can go to the Hanging with Hester and Hanny YouTube page. Please subscribe. And you can pick up any of those interviews, including the ones we did, one we did last hour with Peter Burns from the SEC Network. Our coverage is brought to you today by Smalls Sliders. That is East Boyd at Nicholson, just a short little drive away from LSU on the far side of campus. So if you're heading in tomorrow, pick up some Smalls Sliders on your way in, your way out to LSU and Mississippi State. Richard Dixon joins us now on the show. Rich, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Richard, we're doing great. Earlier in the week, Jacob said something that made me do a double take. We were talking about Erick Gilbert, and he said that they are in a large part going to run the offense through Erick Gilbert. Now, as a former tight end, I know this makes you really, really happy, but I never thought about it in terms of running an offense through a tight end. So how you do that?
You know, I mean, I think, you know, he's going to be a tight end on the depth chart, but if you listen to what Coach O says about him, he's split out wide, he's played X, he's played Z, he's played Y. I mean, he's really just an all-around receiver, but with his size and his skill set, you can put him in a tight end and then still have your other receivers out there. I'd love to see it. I think if you run the offense through him, I mean, he's obviously done whatever it is he's done in practice to prove he's worthy of it. But, you know, I'm still excited to go out there and see guys like Racy and Terrence. I mean, guys that we've seen out there make plays. You know, there's a lot of things I'm ready to see tomorrow.
Obviously, Richard, though, you know, Gilbert's not just going to be in the slot. Yeah, he's going to play a lot of receiver, but he's also going to be the number one tight end because when you look behind him, it's more, you know, fullback, H-back type of guy. So he's going to be asked to be an inline blocker at some point because you're going to stay with the same scheme. Well, Thaddeus Moss actually did that way more than people give him credit for a year ago. So in those situations, how much do you think we can see Gilbert in kind of the nitty-gritty, right, in the trenches there, running some ISO blocks, running some different things, or do you think they do bring maybe a Torrey Carter in to do that?
You know, I think that's what I want to find out the most. I didn't get to go see practice throughout camp this year, and, you know, that's when we realized what Thaddeus could do. We've heard everything that Gilbert can do as far as receiving the ball. Everything that's been talked about has been receiving. I'd love to see him get out there and block somebody because, you know, he's got the size. You know, he's a big-bodied guy. And it's really hard to do as a true freshman. When he's got all the tools, he's definitely going to be in there asked to do it. You know, it's something he's got to see firsthand.
Richard, when Miles Brennan goes under center tomorrow and probably won't be under center, he'll be behind center. Let me rephrase that. But when you get into the script and tomorrow, he's waited so long for this, it would seem to me that the thing to do would be to get him comfortable, to give him things that he's very comfortable with, that are easy to complete. What are you looking for in the script tomorrow, the first 12, 15, 18 plays?
You know, high percentage pass plays, guys that, you know, the routes that he's most comfortable with. You know, I heard the interview he did earlier in the week where he sat down, he's talked with Coach Ensminger and talked about what plays he likes, where he feels comfortable. And I think that they're going to, you know, put those first 12, 15 plays in together, and he's going to get plays where he's, you know, the most comfortable. And, man, everybody's got to be excited to see Miles Brennan get out there and take the helm because he's a guy that in this day and age, you don't have a guy wait this long to become a starter. And he's probably one of the players I'm most happy for, most excited to see on the field.
That was really the theme of this week's hype video for LSU. You know, when you get your opportunity, are you ready? You've got to go out there and you have to take it. Another guy that I'm looking forward to watching, and I've got to be my hand raised here, I wanted to know how I was going to transition, was Chris Curry. Chris Curry came to LSU, and he was running downhill, but as Hanny and I have talked about, and you know this too, Richard, sometimes when you're that power back, and again, I'm raising my hand here, you run with your head down, your eyes are down because you've been so used to being more powerful. You've run everybody over in your career. I didn't know, could he make that transition? He showed last year against Oklahoma he has made that transition. We have seen him in some of these clips and having the chance to go to some of these practices, he has really changed his game, and he is going to be the lead back for this team. What do you expect from him, though, in game one?
I think he's going to have a big night, man. I mean, we got to see him last year against Oklahoma, and he surprised everybody. He had a hell of a game. I think he's a guy that, earning the number 18, the coaches feel really good about, the staff feels good about him, and they like the way that he works. I think he's going to have a great game. He's going to come out day one, and, I think he's going to look like the lead back.
All right, you mentioned it there. It should have been the lead, number 18. You got two of them this year. Chris Curry is the one on offense, Damone Clark on defense. How do you feel about the 18 selections?
I think it's great, man, especially Chris Curry's story. Just another position where you don't see guys wait this long to get on the field. Most of these guys would have transferred, but he's done things to get on the field, be very good at what he does, earn that number 18. And Damone Clark, I don't know very well. Everything I've seen as far as film, he looks amazing. I can't wait to get out there and meet that guy. But if Jack Marucci and all those guys felt good about him wearing 18, I know he's a good dude.
Richard, Jacobs talked about this. I want your thoughts because you were on that team as well. It opened the season with a Southeastern Conference opponent. It doesn't happen all that often, but it just ramps up the intensity a little bit. You played on that 07 team. So what's the difference in opening against an SEC opponent as opposed to if they would have opened the season against Texas San Antonio?
It's hard to say. For me as a player, and Jake knows this about me, and I catch a lot of crap for it. I was just as nervous against Texas San Antonio as I'd be against Alabama. I always had that nervous feeling. It was a game to me that I didn't want to be embarrassed. I wanted to win. I had the same feeling no matter who we were playing. But, definitely when it's an SEC opponent, you're just ready to get the season going, and there's no better way. But you talk about that game. All I remember is Craig Stubbs intercepting the ball 50 times.
Hey, pretty sure they're going to have better quarterback play for Mississippi State this week than they had that week. I don't remember that poor fellow's name, but he thought his team was the team in purple and gold, not maroon that night.
There's no question. I mean, that night, I think it was a little rainy. I was a little upset because I didn't catch a ball that night. But
selfish.
The defense just freaking killed him. Yeah, they got to be. But, Craig Stubbs, if I remember anything from that game, it's Craig.
All right, something else I want to ask you about. We had a listener ask us, how do you game plan for coordinators, for coaches that weren't at that school before? And we've been talking all week about Mike Leach and Arnett, the defense coordinator at Mississippi State. But good question. If you're Mississippi State trying to get ready for Bo Pelini, what tape are you watching? I said I think they're watching Youngstown State because of the way offenses have evolved since he was at Nebraska. Completely different now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, there's no question. You're going to watch what he did at Youngstown State, but, Bo's got a history of what he's done. I don't think, if you go back and watch film over the last 10 years, which these coaches do, they'll go watch film for 10 years, they'll pick out games. And a lot of these coaches, tend to stay the same things. They'll have little changes, but, their base defense is going to be similar. And so for Bo, we're definitely going to go back and look at Youngstown State because I think Bo's going to do what Bo does. The only thing that changes is the players.
Richard Dixon is our guest, former LSU tight end. I wonder what you think of Mike Leach's offense as a whole, because I don't see a whole lot of room in there for tight ends. So is this an offense that you absolutely hate, or if you were in it, you'd figure out a way to be a flex tight end, if you will?
Well, let's be honest, I'd never be in it, but I like watching it from the outside in. It's a fun offense to watch. You go back and listen to shows that we've done over the last 3 or 4 years, we've always watched Mike Leach games. He's always been a fun guy to watch. He gives you great comments. He's a funny guy. But, yeah, it's an offense that's really, it's for your wide receivers and quarterbacks. That's about your biggest recruiting pitch. But you always it's a fun offense to watch.
Question we've been asking Richard really all week is, what do you think LSU will do defensively? Because I've done so many shows, Hanny's done shows, and that's the question, and people have their own thoughts. Mine is you play coverage, you become aggressive because your guys on the outside, your guys in the slot, by the way, are better than their receivers. You trust them in one-on-one coverage, and you go get after Mike Leach's offense.
No question. I don't think you need to bring pressure early. Your strength of the defense is in the secondary. You let them go play man up and cover those guys one-on-one and get coverage sacks. I think that our defensive line is better than their offensive line. And if the DBs can cover for, 3, 4, 5 seconds, you can win with 4.
So, Richard, what's your game day routine going to be altered tomorrow? Because I know that the Mississippi State game's a big game in your household, okay, giving your family ties and everything. So how's it different?
Oh, man, I'm going to be sitting at the house with a bunch of Mississippi State fans. I'm actually headed to Mississippi here in a few hours.
Oh, why would you do that to yourself?
Because it's, you know,
Family.
I get to see my nephew. My nephew, I haven't seen him. They're in from California.
All right, they're in from San Diego. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to be sitting there with my mom and dad. My dad is converted. Even though he played at Mississippi State, he's an LSU fan. My mom's going to be the one that's talking trash until it gets, out of hand.
How do you talk trash back to your mom? I mean, you just can't do that,
if
right?
she doesn't root for the purple and gold, very easily. Very
my mom
easily.
will have a few glasses of wine, and then her mouth will start running, and she knows how to make me so mad.
Rich, enjoy the game, man. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, y'all have fun.
All right, Richard Dixon, former LSU Tiger. I don't know if I could talk trash back to my mom.
Yeah, if you don't root for the purple and gold, everybody is open for trash talk. I wonder how Richard feels, though, by the way, knowing that starting tomorrow, all of his career tight end records are in jeopardy.
He knows. He's acknowledged it.
The single season Thad got last year.
Right.
Now the career ones, Erick Gilbert coming from.
He's got them for 3 more years. Or
maybe
two more years.
All
right, how many balls would he have caught in this offense? I mean, he holds the record.
Richard would have
played
had,
for less. Okay?
Richard would have had a lot of catches in this offense, and you're right. Now, Richard was a tight end that Les used way more than he used any other tight end.
Gary Croton kind of was the architect behind that, right?
Yeah. I mean, Jimbo kind of started it, but obviously Richard was an older player with Croton, and the national championship game. I mean, think about how big of a weapon he was, and yeah, Richard would have had a lot of success in this offense. Sorry, Rich, born too early.
We'll take a break. First class, second class, no class. When we return, hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny.
Football is back. Tune in Sunday for a full day of NFL coverage starting at noon with the Bengals and the Eagles followed by the Cowboys and Steelers at 3:25 and the Saints-Packers at 7:20. Then, Monday Night Football as the Ravens host the Chiefs. The NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The EnviroPath plan is a proactive and bold campaign to get businesses and schools open safely. Darren, why is it so effective?
The EnviroPath plan is a combination of sanitizing technology with OSHA and CDC compliant employee training to produce a workplace that is safe and ready for people to come and visit and spend their money at.
So what makes this different than a company coming in and spraying chemicals all over the place?
Yeah, great question. You know, we knew right away that this was an airborne problem, mainly. It also is a surface problem, mainly is airborne. And so coming in and spraying your office or your home down with chemicals is the wrong approach. You're missing the problem. The problem is in the air. And that's exactly what Active Pure addresses.
The EnviroPath plan is available to you. Call 225-610-0702 or go to enviropath.world.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about...
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele, Jay Ducote, Ryan Terrio, and the guest picker. It's all Friday 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. First class.
I want a seat in first class where I was booked and ticketed over a month ago.
Second class.
That no man should be subjected to the indignity of being labeled or treated like a second-class citizen.
And no class.
My life had become like school on Sunday. No class.
I'll tell you what then. Why don't you call me sometime when you have no class?
First class, second class, and no class. Brought to you by Relief Telemed. Relief for businesses that have frequent interactions with the public, restaurants, retail stores, service-based businesses that can't afford to shut down or send home employees. Relief's COVID mitigation platform takes the hassle, chaos, and stress out of having your employees tested for COVID. The process starts with a video visit with a physician and ends with a custom action plan for every employee. And through a dashboard, you can know exactly when your employees can come back to work. They offer on-site and off-site testing options with Relief Telemed.
Hanny, I can give you a testimonial here. Our walk-ons in Shreveport, no missed time. We had a situation pop up. They took care of us. We were back to work. There was no missed days and no missed revenue. Again, LSU Alexandria is added Relief Telemed. We already know LSU Baton Rouge uses it as well. Look, LSU could have picked anybody. They went local, and they went with the best choice. And not only local for Relief Telemed, they're out in Santa Ana, California school district, by the way, 25,000 students, so they can do anything. Nothing's going to be too big for them to handle. They are, I mean, I'm not kidding. They're going worldwide. ReliefTelemed.com is the website for more information.
Lester Ricard is the head coach at Scotlandville High, and I'd give him first class 5 times if I could today. Last week, Denham Springs lineman Remy Hidalgo collapsed after a practice and died several days later. This past Tuesday, Lester Ricard, the head coach at Scotlandville, took his team to Denham Springs. He didn't take them there for a scrimmage or for a joint workout. He took his team there to express their condolences to the Denham Springs family. Remy Hidalgo's parents were at that practice. They wanted to talk to the team afterward. Scotlandville ended up bringing over 30 members of their team to Denham Springs to express their condolences, and they ran out of vehicles to send them. They would have sent more. They presented the team with a large picture of Hidalgo with the inscription, "Scotlandville is with you. We are all brothers together from our family to yours. We send our love and condolences." This would have been an unbelievable gesture under any circumstances, but one other thing caught my attention when I was watching the video of this. And after a summer that has been, let's just say, difficult for everybody, Lester Ricard's an African-American head coach. Brett Beard, the head coach at Denham Springs, is a white head coach. Lester Ricard has a team that is made up of many African-American players. Denham Springs has a team that is made up of many white players, although there's others on both teams. All I saw was a head coach go from one side of the parish to the other to express his condolences and offer his support. And all I saw were players from both teams that were supporting each other, because I don't know if there's anything that's more difficult for a community and a team to overcome than the death of a young person. I didn't see anything but love and support from white players and white coaches, African-American players, African-American coaches. All they wanted to do was love and support, and I got to tell you, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. Lester Ricard, I'd give you first class 101 times out of 100 for what you did and what you taught your kids, and for the Denham Springs family, our condolences on the loss of Remy Hidalgo. But I got to tell you that that was a powerful, powerful scene that I saw on Tuesday. Lester Ricard, man, first class all the way.
And, Hanny, I'm glad you brought that to my attention, because you're exactly right. I mean, when you lose somebody that young, it is so devastating and so hard for so many people. So I agree with everything you said, and I'm glad you're bringing attention not only to that, but just the whole situation, because it's extremely, extremely sad, something that will not be forgotten. First class for me is Vin Scully, somebody we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and I think it was Twitter that he joined, and he started to get all of these followers. And Vin Scully is salt of the earth. Everybody that ever came in contact with him absolutely loves him. Well, he had an auction he had 310 items that he put up for auction, including World Series trophies, World Series rings. You're talking about Brooklyn Dodger rings. I mean, not Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, so obviously Vin Scully did it for so long, so many great things. And he is giving a portion of those proceeds to the UCLA hospital for neuromuscular research. And Vin Scully just continues to do things year in and year out. He's been around baseball for so long. And a lot of people would see that, Hanny, and they'd say, man, well, how in the world can you give those things up? How can you not give them to your children, your grandchildren? When you've been through those experiences, those are just things. And I don't have near what Vin Scully had, but for me, those are just things. And if you can raise awareness, if you can raise money for a organization that you're passionate about, I am all for doing that. I know for my own foundation, that's what we do. We have things like that. And if you can help other people, those are just possessions, and you've gone through the experience yourself. So Vin Scully, for really everything he's ever done, but another case, first class for me.
Did you watch the game last night, or did you listen to the game last night, Kate? We had it on.
Actually, I don't have the NFL Network, so I did actually listen to some of the game.
Okay, so I watched the game last night, and because the college game turned into a rout pretty early. But the Dolphins and Jaguars, listen, this is not going to be the highest rated game of the NFL season. This is one of those ones that they bury on Thursday night. The Dolphins won 31-13, if you care. But my second class goes to Ryan Fitzpatrick, the Fitzmagic, if you prefer. This is the
if you're trying to promote the game,
37-year-old, 15-year veteran, bearded of the Miami Dolphins. If you watch this game last night, he still plays like he's 23 years old. They're running quarterback keepers, not just on 3rd down and 1. They're running them on 1st down and 10. They're running quarterback sweeps. And Ryan Fitzpatrick last night beat the Jacksonville Jaguars for the 6th time. With the 6th different team, he has now beaten the Jaguars as a member of the Bengals, the Bills, the Titans, the Texans, the Jets, and now the Dolphins. I think Jacksonville's probably had enough of Fitz magic. Tua Tagovailoa is going to take over as the Dolphins starting quarterback. It's just a matter of when. But in the meantime, good with a chance to be great means that if I watch a 37-year-old that goes out there and is just having fun playing football, and if you've played for 8 different teams now over 15 years, then you must enjoy playing football, because he's made enough money that he's never been a superstar, but he's been in the league for 15 years. He's made enough money that he could have retired and moved off into doing other things. Yeah. He's got a Harvard education, for crying out loud.
Go a long way.
And millions of dollars. He could have said, I'm done. Do I want to go back and basically keep the seat warm until the number 1 draft pick goes out there? He's doing way more than that. So second class, good with a chance to be great, is however much longer we get to see Fitzmagic play football, because he having fun.
No, you're exactly right. And that little run he had with the Bucs, and remember the press conference when he came on with Deshaun Jackson's clothes and was just having the time of his life, and he's been able to stick around, and he's been a placeholder a lot of places, but look, he accepts his role, and when he's called on, he goes out there and does really well. So good one there again, Hanny. All right, so my second class is going to be the opt-ins of some of the Big Ten stars, because I realize that we make fun of the Big Ten here in the leadership. That's going to continue. Don't worry. Because that's more of the same. But you know me, I'm always going to be for the players. Rondale Moore opts back into the 2020 season. If you don't know Rondale Moore, very talented receiver from Purdue. He is just the latest. Bateman, we talked about that situation yesterday from Minnesota, the talented receiver Shad Bateman trying to get that waiver because he did sign with an agent, a couple of Ohio State players, because it wasn't just lip service. When they said, we want to play, they wanted to play. They did not think they were going to have the opportunity to play. That's why they decided to opt out of the season. Now you have a season. They want to play football. They want to play football with their teammates, with their coaches, and for the fans. I love this. I love seeing guys continue to play college football as long as they can. Money's great. Money is very, very nice to have, and it makes some problems go away. But I tell you what, if I could trade in all 6 of my NFL years for another year at LSU, I would do it in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't even think about it. College football is special. I know it looks different, but it's not going to feel different once the whistle's blown.
Mike No Class today goes to a former LSU administrator, President F. King Alexander, who is now the president at Oregon State. When the Pac-12 called off football this fall and the SEC didn't, they asked F. King Alexander what the Pac-12 was seeing that the SEC isn't. I think probably reality, Alexander says. Alexander, who had, and I will be very, very nice in my wording here, an uneven tenure here at LSU, reversed his thinking yesterday and said that I'm writing to share that Pac-12 university presidents and chancellors unanimously have improved conference football beginning the weekend of November the 6th. Unfortunately, due to the health and safety considerations, all the Pac-12 games will not include participation by the bands, the squads, or tailgating. But I strongly support these decisions. As your president, I've been committed to prioritizing the health and safety of our student athletes. Be assured that all the decisions we make regarding the university's resumption plans are based upon input and recommendations from a team of medical advisors and research scientists. Obviously, they just got to the medical advisors and research scientists just recently. Obviously, they just got to a plan just recently, because their plan back in August, when they could have put together maybe a more workable schedule, only included ridicule of the teams that were trying to do that. They're not seeing reality. What did reality end up being, F. King? It's the same type of decision-making processes that he did when, unfortunately, too many times he was here, and why there was a concerted effort to get him out. And frankly, that was a good day for LSU. It's just this kind of waffling that too often didn't serve his university.
Right.
He's not a leader, never has been. He's a follower, okay? Whichever way the wind blows,
Pac-12 actually
that's the way that F. King goes. LSU's in a much better position today, and all you have to do is compare the statements side by side from August and from September. It's not a leader. Never has been. No class.
I know some people might disagree with my no class, but my no class goes out to the NCAA committee considering waiving record requirements for bowl games. I love football. I love more football, but I do not love everybody gets a trophy. That is one of my least favorite things in youth sports. Used to, if you won, you got a big trophy. If you got second, you got a small trophy. If you got third, you got a handshake. And that's what it was. And I realize that some conferences are playing more games. I realize there might be only 7 games in some of these seasons. But if you go out there and you have a winless team or a 1-win Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Kansas in a bowl game, we don't need that. And I realize these bowl games are trying to make some money. They've got jobs. They've got revenue they've got to find. There's got to be a better solution than having no requirements. Have something. Have a point system. Have something in place. Please do not put a winless team in a bowl game. There's already too many bowl games. We all know that. There's too many bowl games. Do we love them? Yeah, we're going to watch every single one of them. But there is a lot of bowl games that teams, because of academic standings, can find their way in. That's already bad enough. Let's not make this a deal where 1 win, 2 win. I do not need to see Derek Mason and the Commodores take on, my guy, the Mad Hatter in Kansas in a bowl game.
We've seen that in high school football where 0-10 teams have made the playoffs.
We've seen how that plays out.
I'm hopeful, Jacob, that this will sort of work itself out. I gave the number earlier in the show. Between December the 20th and Christmas last year, there were 10 bowl games. Okay, that's the day this year that they will announce, well, at least for now, the college football playoff. Between Christmas and New Year's, there's 15 more. So there's 25 bowl games that would have to take place between when the announcement is made on the playoffs and New Year's Day this year, when all of these teams are just going to be finishing. I suspect that a lot of those bowl games are going to be canceled. I'm hopeful that this will work out, that we will have a reasonable amount of bowl games, and I don't know what that number is today. I got to see how it plays out, and I know it's a tough call for some of the bowl games. Like if you're the Music City Bowl, for instance, that would take place somewhere around December the 27th, 28th, 29th, something like that. Do you commit to having a bowl game? And can you get the Southeastern Conference and the ACC to commit to having teams there that will have finished their season 1 week prior?
Right.
And which means practicing and traveling through Christmas and going to, let's be honest, is not the most prestigious bowl game in the world. That's a tough call for them because their whole year revolves around this one event. But is that event really, applicable this year? I think that there'll be enough bowl games canceled that the teams that actually get into the bowl games that survive this year, they'll have appreciable records.
Right.
I don't know that that's going to happen, but I'm hopeful.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. And I think we can agree on like a combined no class to all the national media members that called us dumb hillbilly rednecks and told us we weren't going to have a football season and told us we didn't care about people's lives. All we cared about was football, because tomorrow 7 games are going to get played in us hillbilly conference, right? It's here. We made it, and oh yeah, we're still here.
You can't see it. It's printed on the back of my shirt. It says, "Get me to a yes." Hanging with Hester and Hanny is brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling, and much love going out to Blaine Besh. He's out there working hard for us today. So just wanted to say, brother, we love you. We pick fun from time to time, but we love you. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Saints coverage, Chiefs, Cowboys, Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday Night Football. From the opening kickoff to the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the NFL lives on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more.
Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention them right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
Hey, it's Kate Voisin inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. One more week till the regular season kicks off. We'll be talking officiating with Assistant Executive Director Lee Sanders. Tonight at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we're brought to you by Richard's Honda. Home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Matt Flynn with us in the next hour via the phone. Also, our picks coming up at about 2:30 this afternoon. We'll also have special coverage of Saints pregame. Jody Collada and I'll be in at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon from 3 to 5, leading into Saints pregame. Saints take on the Packers on Sunday night, trying to rebound from that loss in Las Vegas last Monday night. Sean Payton was asked if he's okay with where the offense is.
I don't know that we're 1-1 right now, 2 weeks into the season. I think we could be playing a lot better football. We expect to be playing a lot better football, and we're going to have the success we're wanting to have. So our red zone offense and defense still needs to be better. I thought our third down numbers offensively were okay last week. Defensively, we had trouble getting off the field. It's that critical time early in the year where we need to make the corrections so that we have the success that we're looking to have as the season moves forward.
So I asked you the same kind of question I asked on Tuesday after the game, which is, are there problems correctable problems?
It's so early in the season. I'll say yes,
Okay.
but I'm more concerned than I thought I would be about this team at any point in the year because I love the roster. The roster's changed with some injuries, and I'm including obviously Michael Thomas, but some rookies as well that I think the Saints were counting on. To say they couldn't get off the field on defense on Monday night, that's an understatement. I mean, they got abused on third down.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that they had the Raiders finally in a third down situation, it just seemed like it was inevitable they were going to – and not only third downs, Hanny, fourth downs as well. And you were out there too long. That's the number one issue that I saw in the game. You got to get the team off the field. And the offense did do a pretty nice job of picking up those third downs. The percentages looked great, but there's still so many things that have to be answered, so many questions that have to be answered, and I think it all starts with number 9. What does the passing game look like? We've talked about the short intermediate passing being the only weapon that the Saints are using right now, and you still have to have somebody step up for Michael Thomas. Like the defensive issues and getting them off the field, it was the most glaring thing. But I saw that defense against Tampa Bay look pretty damn good, right? There's still some pieces now. Against elite tight ends, they make you nervous. Not everybody has a Waller. In fact, there's 3 or 4 teams maybe that have a guy like that.
49ers got one. He's hurt though.
Yeah, he's on both of our fantasy teams.
Yeah,
get on the
2
field.
weeks.
George.
Yeah.
Offensively though, I've got to see something. Somebody, Emmanuel Sanders, where you at? Right, Jared Cook, where you at? Alvin Kamara had a pretty nice game. Taysom Hill, when you're in the game, let's not telegraph what we're doing, right? And let's play more than 14 plays if we're going to sign him to a contract extension.
Hey, you know who's playing good football? Green Bay Packers. They're 2-0. They have won both games in impressive fashion. They lead the league in yards per game, over 500 yards per game. The talk of Aaron Rodgers' demise has been apparently greatly exaggerated. They are number 10 in the league in yards allowed, so they're still in the in that top third. Not to mention the fact that they gave up an awful lot of these yards when the games were over. For instance, they ran out and hid from Minnesota. They kept Minnesota at arms. Minnesota ended up putting up 34 points, but if you watch that game, and I did, at no time did you ever think that the Minnesota Vikings were going to win that football game. The second game against Detroit, they spotted the Lions a 14-3 lead and then completely blew the doors off from there. So they're playing well on offense. They're playing well on defense. Rodgers is playing out of his mind. Aaron Jones is playing out of his mind.
Yeah.
This team is off to as good a start as you can possibly be at this point. And Sean Payton was asked about what do you do with Green Bay?
Well, the first thing you look at is their balance. They're not one-dimensional. They're rushing the ball right at the top of the league. Their skill positions are outstanding, and obviously Aaron has got great command of what they're doing. They've really pressured the opposing offenses because in both cases, by the second half, teams they're playing against are one-dimensional. So you can point to a lot of specifics. I think their scheme has been fantastic. Obviously, Aaron executing it is comfortable in it. But I think most importantly, you're seeing the balance, and I think that's the challenge.
When he was saying Aaron, he's obviously talking about Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Jones is the key to this game, and you just mentioned him, Hanny. This is a guy that he was hurt his first couple years in the league, but he still averaged well over 5 yards a carry. Last year, over 1,000 yards. Aaron has never really had that option at running back, and it wasn't Jones the first 2 years of his career because he couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't play a full 16 games. Last year, he did. This year, you know how many yards per carry he's got? Right at 7 in the first 2 games. He's got 3 touchdowns already, man. Aaron Rodgers with the running game, when he had Eddie Lacy, that's when he was at his best. And Flynn will tell you that when he comes on in a little bit. When he has a running game that makes you at least think about their running game, Aaron Rodgers is really scary. No longer does he have it's funny, Ty Montgomery's playing on the Saints, but at one time, that was his starting running back, wearing number 88 out there. He's got a running back that he can trust, and this Green Bay offense doesn't look like it's slowing down. I thought I guess we all kind of think that they're going to regress, right? They can't just keep this pace up. 13-3 last year was an ugly 13-3. Is there an ugly 13-3 though?
I wouldn't call it an ugly 13-3, just the fact that they won all of the 50-50 games. All of those games that came down to one score, they got them all. Yeah. And you figure that the offensive or the law of averages will catch up with you at some point if you play that many one-score games. They're supposed to even out over time. The question is, what is time? Is it a season and a half? Is it 2 seasons? I do know this, that when you look at the first 2 games of the Green Bay Packers and the offensive numbers that they put up, and then you look at the first 2 games of the New Orleans Saints, and you think to yourself, there's nobody in the Superdome on Sunday night. So take the home field advantage with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And the Packers are a 3-point underdog. I mean, this is the Roto-Rooter.
Are we going to hear this later?
This is the Roto-Rooter stinky line of the week. If you have watched the Green Bay Packers play 2 football games, and you watch the New Orleans Saints play 2 football games, and you say you are going to play in not quite a neutral site, but you're going to play in an empty stadium, so the home field is not what it would normally be, who should be favored in this game? The Green Bay Packers should be favored in this game based on how they have played. But Drew Brees has been hearing all week that he's washed up. He's done.
Right.
Can't throw the ball from here to there without great effort. You stunk on Monday night. You're done, old man. You know what he's thrown for in all of their games against the Packers? He's thrown for over 300 yards every time. And he threw for 300 yards the other night, but it was an empty 300 yards. He's had some big games against the Green Bay Packers. They have been, this gets overused in sports an awful lot, but I think it applies here. They have been disrespected all week. You guys were supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. You went out and you let the Raiders run all over you. And you don't have Michael Thomas, and I'm assuming they're not going to have Michael Thomas on Monday night either. We don't know that for sure yet, but that's what I'm going to assume for now. That you guys stink.
Yeah. That's
what they've been told all week. They're at their most dangerous probably at that point. So, no, I'm foreshadowing here. I'm not going to pick the game because I think that line stinks. Because I've watched the Packers twice and I've watched the Saints twice, and the Packers are the better football team right now. It doesn't mean they're going to win Sunday night.
If New Orleans goes out and they win this football game, and even if the offense still doesn't look right, if they win 17-14, how does that change your opinion of the Saints, or does it?
It depends on how they get there. I mean, if it's a hard-fought defensive struggle and the defenses both really step up and stymie these quarterbacks, then we'll see. Or if maybe they win a shootout, maybe they go out there and maybe Brees has one of those games. I don't see it right now, but again, Matt makes a point. He talked about this when we were doing the transition. That last year, when they got out of Los Angeles and Brees was hurt, and it was like, oh, woe is the Saints, and they ripped off 5 in a row under Teddy Bridgewater. Can that happen again? Sure. There's still plenty of talent on that team. We just got a really bad taste in our mouth off of Monday night. At least I do. So we'll see if they can rectify that. But based on prior performances, the Packers should really be favored in this game. We'll take a break. Again, Matt Flynn with us in the third hour today. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we're brought to you by Garcia Roofing. I love telling my personal story because it saved me. Not only did it save me in the short term, in the long term as well, because as I'm buying my new house, you tell me, okay, you just need some new shingles. That was not the case. This company was trying to get one over on us, just, hey, throw some new shingles on there, you'll be okay. No, Garcia came out and said, this is not vented properly. You have actually covered up the ventilation, and your roof is literally melting on top of your house, Hanny. So we had to make sure that everything that needed to be done got done, and that's exactly what we got, right? So many other things had to be done to make sure that our roof was going to last more than just a couple of weeks. And so Garcia saved us so much in the short term and the long term, Hanny.
Garcia, your Baton Rouge roofing experts. Call 225-756-3100, 225-756-3100. Roof now and pay later online. It's GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
This is a house call. This is a test result. This is a prescription refill. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare. Start your virtual visit today at Ochsner Health.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but two NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Here at the Big Squeezy, we continue to serve the Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana areas during these troubling times. We are dedicated to providing you healthy food items to help you live your best life. From our cold-pressed juices to our delicious smoothies, let the Big Squeezy keep you going. Stay active, stay happy, and let us help you stay healthy. Visit us at our locations and also inside of Alexander's and Mathern's grocery stores or online at thebigsqueezy.com.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast.
Hey, it's Kate Voisin inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. One more week till the regular season kicks off. We'll be talking officiating with Assistant Executive Director Lee Sanders. Tonight at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We are brought to you by Richards Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. Remember, our coverage of LSU and Mississippi State starts tomorrow morning at 9:30 with Eagle 98.1 Game Day. I'll be back on the pregame this year with Jordy Collada and our usual cast of lots of folks that will be opining on the game, including you. You got your game day stuff ready to go. So Ed Ogeron ready to go. Talked a little bit earlier about keeping their game day routines ready to go, and the latest on a couple of situations where players are coming back. For instance, Hucho talked a little bit about Neil Farrell.
Really good. I mean, really good. You can expect him to get some snaps. He's come back with a renewed attitude, has practiced phenomenal. Work hard all week. I think he's still getting in game shape. I don't think he can play a whole game yet, but I think he can give you 20 to 30 snaps if we need it.
20 to 30 snaps seems like about. Well, with Leach, ordinarily I'd say a little under half a game, but Mississippi State probably going to try to snap the ball somewhere between 75 and 85 times tomorrow. They hopefully won't get there, but that's what they're shooting for.
That's big for me. I didn't think he'd say that many plays. I thought he'd say 10 to 15, just because he hasn't been around the program. If you can get that many out of him, because that position already rotates more than any other position on the football field, but if you can get that from him in this game, because they are going to throw the ball, they're going to run more plays than probably anybody else you played this year. That's surprisingly, that number very surprising.
In fact, LSU overall in pretty good shape health-wise.
Yeah, I think we're the best we've been. And I think that we got a couple guys with some nicks and bruises, but as right now, nobody's out as far as I know. We're ready to go.
Probably Jay Ward, the biggest question mark, I would say, tomorrow, but everybody else seems like they're ready to go.
Which, in this year, the uncertainty and crossing your fingers and hoping you had numbers available and having opt-outs late in the camp you didn't really know what it was going to look like. Pretty good spot. Pretty good situation right now.
Tell you something else, too. You know how we have, over the last several years, gone into the beginning of the season, and what was the little kind of the story nobody wanted to talk about, but you found out about it later, and we all heard the rumors is, all right, how many kids are going to have to suspend for this game? How many kids are going to have to miss this many games? Been not very little. There's been no talk
Yeah,
of
normally,
that this year.
you and I would have our people that tell us exactly what was coming, and that hasn't been the talk.
Isn't it, though? That interesting. Last chance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the
It's a great Tom Petty song.
Yeah, I can't even sing it, but
Tom Petty song.
not a whole lot of that, right? This year?
Right.
Yeah. All hands on deck. How about that?
For a season opener.
Yeah. They just gets better and better. And we get to talk to Flynn.
Well,
15 minutes.
He
20
has.
minutes.
I mean, yeah, we're scheduled.
Okay.
But until I hear his voice,
well,
we'll hold out.
We haven't had a guest stiff us since the show started, right?
We have not. No.
We've
had some.
We've
had some good ones.
100%. Okay, over what 4 months now?
Yeah.
July, August, September, 3.5 months.
Yeah.
Back on the other side, hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
$11,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford F-150. Buy a new one for less than a used one. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers. Offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
At Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get into a Tundra for $7,000 off MSRP. That's right, $7,000 off MSRP. And we have plenty in stock. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Cordell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hi, this is Chance Inman, President and Chief Operating Officer for Janney King Gulf Coast. Here are some ways to protect yourself and those around you from the coronavirus. Wash your hands often and thoroughly. Cover coughs and sneezes with your elbow. Disinfect high-touch surfaces regularly. Use non-contact methods for greeting others. And avoid touching your face. Following these steps, as well as social distancing, should help all of us stay healthy.
Janney King, the king of clean.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, the 49ers will be without quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and tight end George Kittle Sunday against the Giants. Nick Mullins starts in place of Garoppolo. It'll be his first start in nearly 2 years. C.J. Beathard backs up Mullins. Patriots starting center David Andrews had thumb surgery. He's likely out Sunday against the Raiders and possibly beyond. It's winter. The season's over for the Celtics tonight. Boston down 3-1 goes up against Miami in Game 5 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. Only one choice when it comes to the Celtics game plan in a must-win, believes ESPN's Paul Pierce.
I would go small. I'll put a smaller player out of value. I'll start Gordon. Because this all or nothing now. I'm going with my best 5 players. And we're going to run it like that.
Paul Pierce with Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. The last time the Celtics came back from a 3-1 deficit and won a series was 1981. Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Lightning captain Steven Stamkos will not play against the Stars. He has been deemed unfit to play, not though yet ruled out the rest of the series. Tampa Bay's up 2-1.
Download the DraftKings app and use code MAX to get a free shot at millions of dollars up for grabs this week with your first deposit. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Now, Hangin with Hester and Hanny with Jacob Hester and Charles Hanagriff. Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger. Alongside Jacob Hester, here's Charles Hanagriff.
Hour number 3, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Last hour before we get into the football weekend, kind of football Friday edition of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. Great to have you with us. If you're watching along with us on CST or on our YouTube page, 104.5 ESPN, or the Hanging with Hester and Hanny page, you can go back and get all of our previous stuff. Get it on the YouTube page. Cade Wozniak, our audio producer, Paul O'Neill, our video producer, and Matt Flynn will be with us in about 15 minutes. Time to play SEC True or False. You ready to start this thing?
Yeah, I actually just fell into a deep boxing slew during the break, but I'm ready for some football talk.
All right, we start with SEC True or False. For Florida and Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's team will score more than 3 touchdowns against the Florida Gators.
You put the number right where it's supposed to be.
Well, I didn't think I was going to make this easy. I've been playing this game with Jimmy Ott for years. He always, tries to paint you into a corner. False.
They will score 17 points.
17 points is where you got Ole Miss with 2 quarterbacks and Florida having lost a reasonable amount of defensive people. So that's what you're saying.
I'm banking on Todd Grantham and having the familiarity with each other, right? And that carries over, and that plays a lot for me in this offseason.
Mm-hmm. This game by the numbers is supposed to end up about 35 to 21 if you put it right on the number and right on the total. So that's why, like I said, I'm not gonna make this easy for you. All right, SEC True or False. Bo Nix will throw for over 200 yards against Kentucky tomorrow. False. Bo Nix, how many yards per game did Bo Nix average a year ago?
Right at it.
I don't just pull these numbers out of the air. 195 yards per game. He's supposed to be better, but you're bullish on Kentucky.
He's supposed to be better. I'm bullish on Kentucky, and I don't know the identity of Auburn. I have to see that because this is Chad's offense. Chad's a head coach. You don't tell him what he's going to call, because if you do, he ain't going to last very long there because there's an ego with that. And there should be. If I'm a former head coach, I've excelled at places like Clemson as the OC. Hey, Gus Bus, let me handle this. It's my offense. I'm the captain now.
Okay, so under. I'm
still going to go under.
Under 200 yards. Okay. True or false, Mississippi State will score more than 3 touchdowns tomorrow. Once again, I'm putting you right up against it because the Vegas number is LSU is supposed to win this game about 37-21, 20 or 21. So putting you right on the number again. False. And so
because I like 21, so I'm gonna go false here. I like it to push, but I'll go false.
Under 21. So we know that Leach wants to come out. They want to go fast. I was tempted to give you a number of snaps. I just gave you a number of points. So kind of as an aside, true or false, Mississippi State will get 70 snaps tomorrow.
True.
No. Okay. So you not only are you expecting them to be able to possess the ball a little bit.
I think 21 points is the number.
You're counting on red zone defense now a little bit, and you're also counting on. I think there will be at least some effort for LSU to possess the ball with a running game that will try to at least keep the defense off the field a little bit more. I don't expect them to be at the LSU postseason offensive efficiency of a year ago. Not right now. That's something that you build to lean a little bit more on the running game.
I can see a lot of 5-yard throws from Mississippi State where they're in 2nd and 5 and they just try to methodically go down the field, and then in the red area where they can't do that, that's when LSU kind of stiffs up and gets them off the field.
Over or under Georgia players that will throw a pass tomorrow, 1.5.
Over.
This is my way of asking you if they're going to play 2 quarterbacks tomorrow.
Over.
So you think they'll see Mathis, and you think they'll see Daniels too?
I think so.
You think he's cleared? The knee is the issue here?
Okay, if he's cleared, but I think they're going to beat Arkansas by a significant amount of points.
Okay.
And so you're going to have – remember that guy? And God, he had a fratty name, like Stetson Bennett maybe was the guy that came in against LSU for that one play.
Yeah.
The poor guy's jersey wasn't even tailored.
Yeah,
he might come in.
Maybe I asked it. I was trying to be a little bit creative there. What I'm asking you is, do you think Daniels will play tomorrow?
If he's cleared, he'll get some snaps. If he's not, obviously you can't put him out there, and you're not going to put him out there with an Arkansas being the opponent because you've got a 4-game stretch after that. You've got to be ready for.
True or false? Bryce Young will play more than a quarter of football tomorrow for Alabama. Now, this is a backup quarterback. For those that are not familiar with him, he was number 1 pick
out from Cali.
Yeah,
you go across the country and you get him. I'll say false. I'll say false. You're breaking in your own new quarterback. Mac Jones is going to get a lot of the playing time. Do you bring the young guy in? And look, everybody gets this year. So the red shirt and all that's out. Everybody gets another year. Still, I don't know. Nick throwing a freshman quarterback out there for a full quarter. I don't know.
Missouri's been so discombobulated with the number of players that have been in and out of practice with COVID. We thought that they were going to be
a little bit lower. But
we thought they were going to be down a dozen. Now it looks like it may be half of that. But those players, even if they're cleared, have missed significant practice time. I don't know. You're breaking in a new coach. So all of those, Alabama's going to mop the floor with Missouri tomorrow. I'm just curious as to whether Bryce Young's going to.
One of the over-unders should be 3 quarterbacks for Missouri. How many are we going to see? Eli Drinkwitz is talked about it, and he even said, "Hey, we might use some Wildcat situation." I was like, "Wait a minute. If you're running Wildcat in game 1 and you haven't named a starter, that means you got 4 guys that you don't feel real confident about."
Maybe they can run the old Notre Dame box, just no quarterback. We just snap it to tailbacks.
I used to love that play in high school.
I'll bet. Over or under Vanderbilt points tomorrow? 3.
Let's give them the over. Give them the over. They're playing A&M. They're not playing,
Vanderbilt could have, and I'm not joking, since the merger, the expansion, right, the worst offense in SEC history. I'm not kidding. Since 1992, the worst offense. I like
they were bad last year.
Yeah,
they were bad last year, and they had an NFL receiver, an NFL tight end, and an NFL back, and they were bad.
Mm-hmm.
Those three guys are no longer there, and they're supposed to do something. They're going to do nothing.
The Texas A&M is a 31-point favorite in this game. The total on this game is 46. That means that they feel like the A&M is going to win the game by 31 points or more. They're graciously giving Vanderbilt 2 touchdowns, and this is maybe in garbage time. I'll get to a little bit more of this game in my picks, but Vanderbilt, it will be a miracle if they won a game this season. I mean, a miracle.
We're sitting here, and I can't – the fact that we're talking about an SEC school and getting one win, and I cannot even lie to the audience and say, well, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't put my money – on Vanderbilt in any game this year.
Which SEC this is a true or false, so I'm asking this the wrong way. True or false, the loser of the Tennessee-South Carolina game fan base will freak out on Monday.
Oh, true. Tennessee's fan base.
I give you one layup here.
On this. Tennessee's fan base. The expectations of that fan base, and look, they're passionate, so God love them, but, I did a radio hit in Charlotte, not even in the same state as Tennessee, and I said that I like Kentucky better than Tennessee. I got 47 direct messages from that interview from Tennessee fans saying, no way Kentucky's better than us. You see what we did the last 6 games? I said, yes, I saw what you did the first 2 games as well last year.
I did take that.
Not very well.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
That's oof.
SEC True or False brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers with 4 locations helping you deal with pain, whether it be from auto accidents or sports injuries or just old, nagging, aging injuries, herniated disc, muscle and ligament strains, neck or back discomfort. Let them ease your suffering. They've done it for me a number of times. Exercises, stretches, dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, ultrasound, and cryotherapy. 4 locations, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, 13406 Airline Highway, 2832 Plank Road, 467 Oak Plaza Boulevard in Brewley, and on Jefferson Highway near Drusilla with easy access from both I-10 and I-12, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Flynn, when we come back, we hope, we pray.
Flynn and Ron Burgundy voice. We're
making a call during the break. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
You know, this weekend you're probably watching football, but if on some of these weekends here in the fall you're making property improvements, if you're digging, you're calling first because you're a responsible citizen. Call 811. Do it 2 days before you dig. Before you plan to get on your property and make improvements, know that there's lots of lines that are buried and some of them very shallow beneath the surface. So whether it's a gas line, a water line, a communication line, a power line, don't cause problems for yourself. Don't cause problems for your neighbor. It's an easy solution. Just call 811.
I don't know about you, Hanny, but my honeydews, they don't just stay on the weekends. Those weekday honeydews as well. So football, look, no excuse. You're going to be out there. You're going to be in the yard. You're going to be digging. And if you have a shovel in the ground, we tell you every single day because it's true. It is the law. And if you want to find out more information, you can always go to Louisiana811.com. But it's easy. Pick up the phone, dial 811, call before you dig. It's easy. It's simple. It's the law.
Off the Bench, Hanging with Hester and Hanny. After further review and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the live chat driven by Bayou Ford.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not 1 but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Phil Steele, Jay Ducote, Ryan Terrio, and the guest picker. It's all Friday 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
We're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
All right, our next guest, well, he used to not need an introduction, but he's been MIA for so long, and we had to send out the investigative team to find him at his second home, Can't Hide Money. We have finally tracked him down, and I am very excited to welcome Matthew Clayton Flynn back to the show. My name's Jacob Hester. I don't know if you need me to reintroduce myself, but that's my name. How are you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm great. Thanks for the beautiful introduction. I've missed y'all. I thought y'all lost my number because you hadn't asked me to come to radio in such a long time.
Do you want me to share the text on the back of the screen, or you just want to say that was a lie?
Well, I think we both dropped the ball, Jacob. Let's just
yeah, the story changed. But, hey, this is the perfect week to have you on. And, you and I were texting back and forth before the show. I know you and Graham Harrell are extremely close, and obviously we'll get to some of the Packers and Saints, but Graham Harrell was one of the star quarterbacks for Mike Leach. And before Mike Leach even came into the conference, I remember us having conversations on the show about how much you liked Mike Leach's offense, and it was a lot of
conversations. We had entire shows about Mike Leach.
We kind of did, but now he's in the conference. LSU faces the Pirate tomorrow. So for our listeners, kind of tell them, what you like about Mike Leach's offense and what you and Graham Harrell will kind of talk about as far as concepts and different things.
Yeah, I mean, so the Mike Leach offense is obviously different, right? Different than anything that we've probably seen in the SEC, or at least in a long time. And what that offense does in the SEC is it just creates a problem, right? It creates a pain in the butt to coordinate against, to prep against. It's just something different. It's kind of like having the same concept of having somebody that runs a triple option in your conference. It just creates an issue because it's so different. I hesitate saying the word unique because a lot of people throw the ball a lot, but their offense is just a little bit different. And I don't know a ton of the real intricacies of the offense, but I did have a lot of conversations with Graham, during our time in Green Bay about kind of the theory behind it, a little bit of the play calls and things like that. it's unlike offense that I've ever been a part of, Jacob, where you ever been a part of. I know you were a number system guy. I was never a number system. I was, kind of a hybrid West Coast guy. And I would say probably 45% of the NFL teams are some sort of hybrid West Coast, and 45% are number system. And then the other 10 is just a combo of everything. And so there's no one that's real familiar with this. They go into a game with probably, they're not going to have many plays. So they might throw the ball 65 times, but they might have only called 10 pass plays the whole game. They have answers, and they have options to all different coverages that you're going to see, all different looks. One thing that was really unique that it blew my mind when Graham was telling me this is the pass protection that they do. Now, mind you, this is like Graham played like 10 years ago because we're all old as dirt now. But so it might have changed. But, in his Texas Tech years, they never made protection adjustments. So basically, Jacob, you and I are going to kind of know what this is, but they dual protection everything. So everything is and what a dual protection means is basically it's like zone blocking for the offensive line. They're going to make their pass sets, and they're going to come and block whoever's in their zone. It's not going to be the traditional, 4 down and Will, 4 down Mike, 4 down Sam. It's not going to be any of that calls. You're not going to hear the quarterback, barking out Mike calls and things like that. They're gonna basically block zones. So, if the quarterback sees zero blitz, or if he sees, a strong dog or weak dog or corner blitz coming, he doesn't make the adjustments. He's just got to hope and basically pray that the offensive line is going to pick it up and sort it out. And the sorting out, it takes a while for that chemistry to work as the offensive line. So, this has been a lot of prep time for that offensive line, but I'm going to be really intrigued to see the offensive line, defensive line match up this weekend. We know Bo likes to bring pressure. How does that young offensive line for Mississippi State, I say young, I don't know their ages, but with a new offense, as a new pass protection scheme, I'm going to call it a young unit. How are they going to pick up and sort out different games and different loops and different stunts and different looks that we know that Bo Pelini's going to throw at them? So that's going to be what I'm going to be watching a lot. It worked in the Big 12. It worked, in the Pac-12. But in the SEC, we know all the front sevens. SEC is known for having great front sevens. So is it going to work against SEC? It's not going to work every week, but they will create enough of a problem at some point that they're going to beat somebody good this year.
Matt, what defensive concepts give this offense the most problems? Would it be a team that blitzed a lot? Would you expect something like that, or is that not the way to attack this group?
The problem with attacking this group is the outlets and the options that the Mike Leach offense gives you. I mean, he's going to have quick hitters. He's going to have every play that they run is basically going to have some options. So if you can figure out what those options are, I mean, it's hard to at the beginning of the year, but they're going to have a drag outlet or a quick out outlet or a 5-yard hitch outlet by a running back split out wide. There's always going to be. They're going to try to make some options. So you can figure out a way to get pressure and confuse that offensive line and get back to the quarterback in 2 or 3 seconds while taking away the outlets. It helps. Now, again, first game of the season, how quick is that quarterback going to recognize a blitz and recognize a problem area blitz and get to the outlet? That all kind of remains to be seen. He's been thrown against the same color jerseys for 4 months now, 3 months now, whatever it is, longest training camp in the world. So when the lights come on, what happens? But the hardest defense for really, if you're not going to blitz, the hardest defense for any quarterback to throw against in a pass heavy offense is cover 2 man, which is you're playing 2 safeties high and you're playing man inside leverage on everybody. So everybody's taught to defenders are taught to take the middle of the field away, which quarterbacks love attacking the middle of the field. But it does open yourself up to quarterback run because then you have nobody manned up to, nobody left to roam and take the quarterback. So that's kind of that's the best defense for a pass happy offense. But it does open yourself up to the middle of the field if they got a killer tight end or the quarterback run.
Matt, what's Miles thinking right now? I mean, we've had this conversation so many times, but it's here now. Like, this is Miles Brennan's team. And just like you, he waited his turn. He was behind a guy who got picked number 1 overall in the NFL draft, right? And Miles, just like you played in his career as well. It's not the first time that he's going to be playing, but when you got that opportunity for the first time, what was going through your mind before we played Mississippi State in that opener?
I just remember being just like uncontrollably excited, right? It's like you waited so long. If I started earlier in my career, I'd probably have some nerves. I might be a little nervous, but like by that point, I'd waited so dang long to play and for the team to be mine, right? Mm-hmm. I just couldn't wait for it to get there. We played, it was the opening kickoff game for the year. So we played on Thursday night, I think. Yeah. We played Mississippi State. And it was like the longest day ever. It was like, hurry up. Wish for once in my life, I wish we had like an earlier game, right? So I know he's excited. I know he's extremely prepared, just from the amount of time they've had. He spent his time, and he has, I'm very proud of, kind of the path that Miles taken for obvious reasons that I haven't been hesitant to share. But, I'm proud that he was, big enough to say, early in his career, hey, I might not be ready to play. I'm good enough to play here, but I might just not be ready. So he took his time and got to learn from, one of the best to ever do it last year. And I'm just excited to watch him play, just like everybody else. I love watching quarterbacks, and that's a cliche, but how he handles the offense, and just I wouldn't be surprised if he overthrows his first 2 throws tomorrow. Just from adrenaline pumping, being excited. I learned that early on, that as a quarterback you can't hype yourself up too much, because then you're just going to throw it over someone's head right at the beginning. So hopefully he settles into the game really quickly. I'd love to see him get a couple of quick hitters, maybe some wide receiver screen first play of the game, maybe a little rollout screen, something like that. As a quarterback, just seeing somebody with the right color jersey catch a pass, no matter if it gets 0 yards or 5 yards, it doesn't matter. It just gets you into the rhythm of the game. So I'd love to see them come out and just hit a little quick something and let them get into the rhythm.
Matt, let's change subjects for just a second. The Saints play the Packers on Sunday night. Green Bay is off to a great start. Aaron Rodgers is off to a great start. I think when we asked you after the draft how Rodgers would respond to the Packers drafting Jordan Love, I think you answered something in the terms of it's probably going to piss him off. That certainly appears to be what has happened here. You spent 6 years in Green Bay with him. You know him very well. I guess this is no surprise to you that he's responded in this fashion.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, this might not be the right show during the day to talk about this, but you guy might have taken a futures bet on the MVP race with it. I don't know. But I'm not surprised. So Aaron's been starting for what? He's been starting since 2008. He got drafted in 05 or 06. He's been playing this game for a long time. My time with him, he's one of these guys that thrives on being pissed off, having chips on his shoulders. I remember, Aaron would always, he'd find ways to piss himself off, right? He would bring up having to go to JUCO out of high school. He'd bring up like Pete Carroll. We were playing Seattle. He would talk about how Pete Carroll didn't recruit him, or out of Butte junior college. Like he just always finds these ways to piss himself off, right? And he thrives on that. And he plays this long. It's hard to stay motivated and find reasons to be pissed off for that long, right? And so, he kind of, new coach the last couple of years, and he hadn't had his best seasons. And I can guarantee you, players say that they don't listen to chatter, but I can guarantee you Aaron was hearing the chatter about him. And then maybe this was like maybe the Green Bay front office was playing chess and we're all playing checkers. Maybe they drafted Jordan Love to piss Aaron off. I don't know. That could be there. I just created a theory right here, but you're going to take a guy that's one of the best to ever do it, certainly one of the most talented arms to ever do it, and you give him motivation. That's something to be worried about. Now, 16-game season, I don't know if he can keep that pace or anybody can keep that pace for 16 games. Certainly, you know, I'm assuming most Saints fans sure hope that he doesn't. But I would look for him having a big game again this week. That's just me. You know, a lot of people, they were a good team last year. A lot of people said it was the flukiest 13-3 team, and I don't disagree with it. I mean, you know, you look at it, it was probably Aaron's worst season as a QB, but man, they had some studs on defense. They have some studs around them. I still wish they would have surrounded him with a couple more weapons on offense, but those guys are good enough. And Aaron can take someone average and make them good. He can take someone good and make them great. He's got a guy like Devontae Adams who's great. You know, what's the next level above that? I mean, that's just a dangerous combo.
He's actually got a running back in Aaron Jones this year. We've talked about that
telling you.
so many different times. When Eddie Lacy was there, that was actually Aaron at his best, in my opinion, just to have a guy that you can trust and hand the football to. Hey, before we let you go, and by the way, I mean, this is so 2020, the fact that we've had Matt Flynn on and we've been talking football and I haven't got one meth gator mentioned in yet. So we'll stick with the same theme here. Drew Brees on the other side. You were teammates with Aaron, but you're also teammates with
Meth
Drew.
gators.
Okay, there we go. Fair enough. We got to throw one in there. You were teammates with Drew. He looks off. He just looks a little off. He doesn't look like he's in his normal rhythm. Is there anything that you've seen that you can say, okay, well, maybe it's this and it's not necessarily his age or the injuries that he's been through?
No, I mean, I can't pinpoint anything. No, I mean, I know Drew thrives on preparation, right? And I don't know if, you know, the lack of, you know, having a lack of the time in the off season and things like that have affected him. I know he thrives on that. He thrives on being scheduled. He thrives on mental reps, physical reps, and you know, he's done it for a long time. So, you know, is that a reason? Can you blame it on that? I don't know. He certainly looks off. You know, watching him play, it's not the Drew Brees we all know and have watched for forever. But it's also not to say he hadn't had a couple of bad games in his career before, a couple of bad games in a season. Maybe it's just a thing where there's been two in a row. Everyone's throwing, you know, up red flags, and maybe the Drew Brees we know will come out this week. You know, it certainly looks like he's trying to guide the ball. He's pushing it with his shoulder a little bit. And when you kind of get into that mode, then you're not very accurate. If you're not just like cutting it loose and letting it rip, then you're not going to be consistently accurate. So, you know, I don't know if there's the coverage downfield is making him get to his third and fourth guy, and by that time there's just not enough like practice reps or game reps or whatever in the last couple of months, so where he can get to that third or fourth receiver and without his, you know, feet being messed up or his arm, whatever it is. I don't know, but he certainly looks off, and he just doesn't look like he has the same pop coming off of his hand. And I don't know if, you know, it might be an age thing, but you know, that might also be a cop-out argument. Everybody's been saying that for years with him. I know Father Time wins every battle, but you know, it's hard for me to blame it on that. I just know it doesn't look the same coming out of his hands right now.
Matt, don't be a stranger, man. Want to hear from you again before a couple of months. I'll make sure Hester's got your number.
Should we schedule like the next meeting like ahead of time maybe, so we've got to hold you to it, or should we just let it happen organically?
No, organically is kind of the way. If you can't wrangle me in a week out, man.
That's a week out, hours out. You kidding?
Take it easy, Matt.
11:30 today. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right.
See you, Matt.
Take a break. We'll come back. Our picks, try to rebound from a rough week last week. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
Tiger Air, an independent dealer of the American Standard heating and air conditioning systems, the most efficient on the market. I can tell you from personal experience. At first time I went to the mailbox after I had that unit installed to open that power bill and to see how much less it was. That was a very exciting day. And they followed after that because it's the most efficient unit on the market. And the programmable thermostat means that you're never wasting energy. How many times have you left your home and you said, man, I forgot to readjust the air conditioner, energy just wasting all day? With the programmable thermostat that you can adjust from your cell phone, you'll never have that problem again.
Yeah, and you're probably, shocking the system right now. You got the air up, you got it down because of the weather in South Louisiana. Well, if you have that seasonal maintenance that we always talk about with that Comfort Assurance Protection Plan, you're not going to shock your unit, right? They're going to make sure that it's always running. You're going to get increased equipment life with that protection plan as well. Call 225-754-8687, tiger-air.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To all of our heroes working on the front lines of this COVID-19 pandemic, your bravery and selflessness represent the very best of us, and we want to say thank you. I'm asking everyone around the state to join me in celebrating the heroism of our healthcare professionals on the 19th of every month at 1900 hours, that's 7 p.m. Write a note of appreciation, make plans to donate to charitable organizations, or say a prayer. To learn more, visit 19thanks.org. Thank you, and God bless.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Hey, it's Kate Voisin inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. One more week till the regular season kicks off. We'll be talking officiating with Assistant Executive Director Lee Sanders. Tonight at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, last week, not our best picks. Each went 2 and 4. So we'll try to. What would it be, about 500 for the season? Maybe.
Yeah, I'm 2 games over 500. You're right under one game under.
One game under 500. All right, let's try to do better this week. Our 6-packs are ready to go. You want to go first?
You gonna keep up with them? You're gonna hold on to them? I know Craig's.
I thought you were doing. I thought that was your job. Who's our?
Craig does a much better job than I do.
Who's our recording secretary over here? I'll tell you what. I'll keep mine. You keep yours.
Okay.
How's that? Okay.
All right. I'll start this thing off.
All right.
I'm gonna have the easy one.
Yeah.
Give me Kentucky and the points.
Oh, I'm shocked. Shocked to my very core.
I'll take Kentucky plus 7.5. I like them outright, but I like them a lot to cover.
Okay, that's the no shock pick of the week. You've been waiting to make that pick since June. So
I have.
I'll go with you. I like the Friday night game. There's only one game tonight, but Middleton. I have watched all of both of Middle Tennessee's games. Okay, because it was on. They were on against Army. They were on against Troy. They weren't quite in an exclusive window against Troy, but I saw a lot of that game. They've been blown out both games. They lost to Army 42-0. They lost to Troy 47-14. And the Roadrunners have won both of their games. Texas San Antonio, they beat Texas State. Not great, but they put 51 points on the board doing it. And they beat Stephen F. Last week. They are a 6.5-point favorite at home tonight. They will play this game at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. I like the Roadrunners for my first pick, -6.5.
All right, I'm going to go to the state of Texas as well. I like the Texas Longhorns -17.5 against Texas Tech. A lot of points. Texas Tech almost lost to the school with the CVS on the sidelines. So for that, and Texas did look really good in their first game. I think Texas is a team that in the Big 12, a very down Big 12, is going to make a lot of noise. The winner of the Oklahoma-Texas game, like it is in most years, probably has a pretty good shot at getting into the CFP, depending on what happens elsewhere. But as far as the Big 12 nominee there, so I like Texas, even though 17.5 seems like a lot.
I have nothing to add to that. That is my second pick. We really should check with each other before this.
No. I mean, God, we got
look.
Okay.
That was it. We ran long in the last segment anyway, so I have nothing to add to that. Make your third pick.
All right, so my third pick is a ranked game and one that's sneaky on the weekend. Nobody talking about this game at all, and that's Army taking on the Cincinnati Bearcats. Army is +13 for this game. Now, I think Cincinnati wins it outright, but Army is a real football team. This isn't just a fluke, they run the option. They're a real football team that can wear you down. I like Army +13.
They can shorten the game all right. So 13 points seems like a lot. Kansas State is going to Norman tomorrow to play Oklahoma. The total in this game is 61. Kansas State gave up 35 points to Arkansas State at home. I'm not sure that Oklahoma won't cover this number on the over by themselves. If Kansas State can just kick in a little bit, give me 2 touchdowns, Oklahoma will get to half 100. Give me over. I feel like the biggest sucker. I take 2 favorites and an over, and I got more favorites to come. I just, something ain't right here, but I'm going to take over 61, Oklahoma, Kansas State.
All right, so my next game, BYU and Troy. Troy is a team that's, played a game. BYU's played a game. Both those teams won in big fashion in their openers. Troy is a 14-point underdog in this game. It's up in Provo, so that makes you a little nervous how they're going to handle the thin air up there, but still, Troy, 14 points. If you're getting that, I'll take it, +14 for Troy.
Alabama is going to absolutely annihilate Missouri. I mean, this is not going to be close in any way, shape, or form. I don't care how many kids play for Missouri that were supposed to be out or whatever. You're under 4 touchdowns here at 27.5. Give me the Tide.
Ooh, that's going to be there's a couple of SEC games. That are gonna be pretty
I hate to, you're laying 4 touchdowns in an SEC game, and I don't even feel threatened. I'm about to lay 3 more points than that.
Hey, this one right here, like my hand's shaking writing it down because of the points.
No.
But UCF -27 against East Carolina.
See, I don't know. I haven't seen East Carolina. I did see UCF.
They haven't played
look
yet.
good. Yeah. Oh, they haven't played yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
27's a lot.
It is.
That offense, and Georgia Tech had their moments in the game where they could have come back and they should have been in the game. That offense can score. They can score in a hurry. And a team that hasn't played yet and a team that just wiped the floor with an ACC team on the road is 27. It's a lot, but I'll take them.
You know what's more than 27? 31. A&M. Vanderbilt's not going to score. Vanderbilt may not score until Halloween. Oof. I'm laying 31. I'm laying 31 with Jimbo. Crazy, right? Vanderbilt's not going to score. They just got to get to 32. That's it.
No. And I'm just thinking all of these lines are just
crazy.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
But that's what this season's going to be. My next one, give me Boston College against Texas State -17.
Okay.
17 points for Boston College, a team that hasn't been good since Matt Ryan was there.
Texas State was beaten. Texas San Antonio put up 51 against Texas State. Now, they scored 48, but they put up 51 against them. I had to throw in one NFL pick. I think that the Chicago Bears are a 2-0 team that could easily be an 0-2 team. They're going to Atlanta. The Falcons aren't embarrassed. They should be. I think they can put some points on the board. We've seen that through 2 weeks of the season against Seattle and Dallas. The defense is not good, but that's okay because Chicago's offense really isn't all that good, save for one big quarter from Mitchell Trubisky at Ford Field. I like the Falcons minus a field goal at home against the Bears.
So many injuries throughout the NFL. I stayed away from the NFL this week. A lot of unknown, and typically the last couple of weeks we've gone either 3-3 or 4-2, and we've tried to pick a couple of NFL games. There's a lot of uncertainty in the lines because of some of the key injuries in the NFL. If I would throw an NFL one out there, again, the Bengals +5 against Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they've got some issues. They got to figure out who they are because they have no idea right now. And if we've seen anything from the Bengals, they're not going to give up until 000 on the clock.
Teams that are 0-2 in the regular season and 0-2 against the spread cover 65% of the time in week 3. Just as an aside, just as an aside. So we'll see. I'm going against a 2-0 team. So what do I know? We both got Texas. Jacob's got Kentucky. I have no strong feelings about Kentucky. Thank you. Army, Troy, Central Florida, and Boston College. I got Texas, San Antonio, the Oklahoma, Kansas State over, Alabama, A&M, and Atlanta from the Ruffin Rodriguez School of I can't give enough points. Nothing but chalk this week. Hate it. Hate it, hate it. Back with Ask Us to wrap up this show. Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hanging with Hester and Hanny.
All right, we're brought to you by Richard Honda every single day, the title sponsor of Hanging with Hester and Hanny. You can find them at 13413 Millerville Greens Boulevard in Baton Rouge. That's I-12 and Millerville. Over 700 new and pre-owned vehicles there on the lot. And no matter where you're at in your life, no matter what your lifestyle calls for, they've got something for you. If you're looking for a car, they've got the Accord, the Civic, and the Fit. If you're looking for a hybrid, they have multiple with the Accord Hybrid, the Clarity Plug-in Hybrid, the CR-V Hybrid, and the Insight as well. That CR-V Hybrid is actually that midsize SUV hybrid. Speaking of midsize SUVs, they've got the CR-V, the HR-V, and the Passport, the Odyssey minivan with all the features, all the bells and whistles you can imagine, the full-size Pilot, which seats 8. Tell you all the time, the Hester's 4 boys. We fit in there with all the sports gear, with all the car seats. It's still plenty big enough for all of us to fit in. The Ridgeline truck, something for everybody over at Richards Honda. RichardsHonda.com, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
T-Bob Hebert here with breaking news. Front to Back Boat Services is the shop to upgrade your boat tech this fall. With not one but 2 NMEA certified techs, who better to install your Panoptic sonar, your HD displays. You want to see the fish under the water before you even cast? They have that. Trolling motor you could control with your iPhone? They have that. So what are you waiting for? Get into Front to Back Boat Services right now. Upgrade your boat tech. Make your boating dreams come true. Front to Back Boat Services.
Do you know someone who sets a good example for all of us to follow? Someone who, without being asked, shows leadership, selflessness, and service to their community? We believe that's the definition of a good citizen, and so does Citizens Bank and Trust.
So, if you know someone that sounds like what Jordy was just describing, nominate them to be your good citizen, and they'll have a chance to win $500 from Citizens Bank and Trust. Plus, we'll mention him right here on the show. So go to citizensbankandtrust.com for more details and nominate your good citizen.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is a local bank with a straightforward philosophy.
It's about doing the right thing for our customers.
Participating in our community with annual local fundraisers, offering individual attention in a modern banking atmosphere with a trusted local company. Gulf Coast Bank invested in technology with a local touch, giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime.
We're building relationships through personal service as the bank.
Hey, it's Kate Voisin inviting you to join me, Coach Todd Black, and Coach Jimmy Roy for the Lake After Hours Lake Urgent Care Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. One more week till the regular season kicks off. We'll be talking officiating with Assistant Executive Director Lee Sanders. Tonight at 6, live from Walk-Ons in Town Center on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin with Hester and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 1130 The Tiger.
And we're brought to you by Richard's Honda, home of the warm and fuzzy feeling. All right, time for Ask Us. Alex says, what beverage and vittles will you partake in at home at game time? We're not new. Well, I would actually will probably watch the first half of the game from home. What are you? You're on the sideline, so you're not eating anything. Right?
I'll be in the press box.
Okay.
I'll be in the press box this year. So whatever prepackaged snack,
food.
If you listen to Robert Munson, it's all prepackaged. You told us that earlier. Around the stadium.
Maybe some pizza.
Does prepackaged mean like a Twinkie?
It's possible. Ask us, which is harder, making the NFL Hall of Fame or the NBA Hall of Fame?
NFL.
Yeah.
Basketball Hall of Fame, it's not. I don't want to say it's easy. I don't want to take anything away from anybody who's in there, but the NFL Hall of Fame is a little bit more difficult.
It's not, and it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame, but the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame takes into it's not the Pro, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Right,
so they take into account your college numbers, and they take into, they do that because they also take into account your international numbers.
Yep.
So you have women's college basketball numbers that count, you have international numbers that count. It's a larger field. It's a larger field. Ask us, if you could pick one singer's voice to sound like, whose voice would it be?
I know I'm going Elvis here.
Barry White.
Barry White.
Yes.
Hey, baby.
Come on. We're going to get some use out of this, right? Come on.
You'd be the new voice guy.
No kidding.
Welcome in to Hanging with Hester.
Right. Ask Hester, how many times did you practice the over-the-shoulder flip fake field goal before you ran it against South Carolina?
97,000 times. Years. Literally 05, 06, 07 until we ran it. We practiced it every day. We practiced that thing. It was, I told you yesterday, you kick field goals at the end of practice. At the end of practice, we were doing it.
Mm-hmm. Ask Jake, are you going to have a press pass to see Saints Chargers? Okay, so you're still working through that, right?
So if fans are allowed in Superdome, I'm actually taking my oldest son. He's a Chargers fan, and that's going to be a dad and son bonding trip. That's not going to be a work trip.
Ask us, any progress with the Flynn search party? Yeah, we found him. He was on. Go back and listen to the interview. He was great today.
He was professional
Fantastic.
today. What in the hell's going on here?
Ask us, who sets up the sports memorabilia on the set? That would be Paul O'Neill.
Yeah.
Paul O'Neill takes care of that. Ask us, what time will y'all start consuming alcohol tomorrow? Oh, actually, today.
Oh, yeah, today. It's beer 30 now.
We're almost done, yeah. Ask us, bourbon, vodka, or scotch?
Bourbon.
Yeah, that's another easy one. Ask us, what's missing from the desk that you guys would like to add? You were actually talking about this today.
I'm actually in talks with the equipment staff with the Los Angeles Chargers to get one of the new helmets, one of the new lids. This is our newest edition. We hadn't even announced him to the crowd.
No.
I know it has a Buccaneers uniform, so don't even pay attention to that, but it is Mike Allstott. The A Train was sent to us because I have a deep love for Mike Allstott. So, again, nothing to do with the Buccaneers. It has his total stats on the back. It's Mike Allstott. So who in the world wouldn't want to have that as a fullback. Look at that.
Is he in the train because he went to Purdue? Is that like the Purdue
well,
train?
He was the A train. That was his nickname.
Okay.
He was but he was a Boilermaker as well. I'm sure it started there.
Does it have the big neck pad behind it?
It doesn't have the neck roll. That's a little disappointing. Maybe we need to make him one, like a little foam neck pad.
Ask us, better survivor pool pick this week, Tampa over Denver or Colts over Jets?
Colts over Jets.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. The Jets are awful.
Make a living against
the Colts.
The
Look
Jets.
good. That little bounce back for them.
Ask Hester, more nervous for your first NFL or LSU start?
Ooh, LSU.
Yeah.
There was so many people I wanted to make sure that, I was representing state of Louisiana, Tiger Stadium, the lore, all that. Once I got to San Diego, it was fine.
Who was in attendance that you knew for your first NFL start? Your parents there? Or your wife was there, I'm sure?
Oh, yeah. My wife was there. My sister-in-law was there. My mom was there. I think my brothers were there. I think both of my brothers.
How many more were there for your first LSU start?
Oh, it was my whole family, my wife's whole family,
kind of where I was
cousins,
going with that.
uncles, yes.
Okay. All right, you got real quick, spin the wheel one time.
Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Fur.
I'm going fur because it's so freezing cold in this meat locker.
Fur.
I'm going fur.
In this place.
Scales? I don't know. That sounds slimy. I don't want that.
It doesn't sound like a whole
here's
lot of
one.
fun.
Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early? You better say early.
20 minutes early.
Okay. Don't be Ronnie.
No.
Never Ronnie that question.
For Cade Wazan, Paul O'Neill, and Jacob Hester, I'm Charles Hanagriff.
Tigers.
Thanks
Let's
and good
go,
afternoon.
Tigers.
Catch us at 9:30 in the morning on pregame. It's been Hanging with Hester and Hanny, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Hangin' with Hester.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the